the Palestinian enclave from the inside. He says Hamas must be defeated.
I'm responsible for the defence establishment. I have been responsible for it for the past 2 weeks, even during the difficult incidents. I'm also responsible for leading it to victory in the battle. The battle will be a tough one. We will be precise, sharp, fatal, but there will be a price.
And another repatriation flight from Israel has touched down in Sydney this morning. Lara Vella's there.
Among the hundreds of passengers on board this commercial Emirates flight from Dubai to Sydney this morning are dozens of Australian evacuees and their families fleeing the conflict overseas. It's understood 59 people are on board who've received help from the federal government to leave Tel Aviv on this flight. And no doubt it will be a day of mixed emotions, grateful for the safety of Australia, but concerned for the loved ones, friends and relatives who remain. This flight follows 2 dedicated repatriation flights arranged by the federal government, with almost 1,600 people now assisted in leaving the conflict.
While the US is issuing a worldwide caution on travel amid rising global tensions and the increased threat of terrorist attacks, the Secretary of State is ordering security reviews of all US embassies. Family and friends will gather in Red Hill today to farewell a father and son. Ben and Charlie Mumford were killed when their Cessna came down almost a fortnight ago. The 24 and 50-year-old were part of a close-knit farming community. Their funeral service will be held in its entirety at the local football oval. While a pilot died in a light plane crash in southern Queensland, the aircraft burst into flames when it landed in the Southern Downs region, sparking a grass fire. It's understood the pilot was the only person on board. National health bodies, including the AMA, want alcohol producers to print warnings on beer and wine similar to those on cigarette packs. The federal government's seeking advice on options for raising consumer awareness about the health implications of alcohol consumption, including liver disease and poor mental health. The AFL is being urged to beef up the penalties under its illicit drugs policy. Carlton recruit Elijah Hollands will face court this month accused of possessing an illicit substance, while Melbourne's Joel Smith tested positive to cocaine during a match-day test. Dr Peter Larkin's telling Wide World of Sports the illicit drugs policy isn't deterring players from using illegal drugs.
The effect of the illicit drug policy is very poor. It has not had the effect it was intended to do. I don't think the sanctions are sufficient, and therefore I don't think the deterrent is sufficient.
And today marks 50 years since the Sydney Opera House officially opened its doors. The late Queen Elizabeth presided over the opening back on the 20th of October 1973. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
There's plenty of stock ready for immediate delivery on Mitsubishi Triton from Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Australia's World Cup hopes will again go on the line tonight when they take on Pakistan in a must-win match our time tonight. Last night, India underlined its favouritism tag with a comfortable 7-wicket win against Bangladesh. Former skipper Virat Kohli with a brilliant unbeaten century to help guide the hosts home. Meantime, the Melbourne Stars have won the opening game of the WBBL season with a thrilling 2-run win over the Sydney Sixers.
Can Smith hit a boundary off Capsey to win the game for the Sixers? It's a swing and a miss, or is it a wide? It's not a wide, and the Melbourne Stars have come to North Sydney and got a wonderful victory.
Audio there thanks to 7. Meg Lanning top scored for the Stars, hitting 55, while Sixers captain Ash Gardner took 2 wickets and made 72 in the loss. The Adelaide Strikers begin their campaign tomorrow night against the Melbourne Stars at Karen Rolton Oval. Well, the Adelaide 36ers have failed to capitalise on their season-opening win last week, going down overnight at home to the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix 102-85. The Sixers will be in action again tomorrow night against the Perth Wildcats. To golf, Cam Davis is the best of the Aussies, 3 shots off the pace after the first round of the Zozo Championship in Japan. American Colin Morikawa leads the way at 6 under. And a great day at the Japan Open with both Alexei Popyrin and Alex de Minaur through to the quarterfinals after they recorded wins. And that's the FIVEAA Sport.
Now the FIVEAA forecast.
Beaumont's new showroom is now open at Seaford Meadows with 25% off all tiles this Saturday only.
Becoming cloudy, a high of 27. A shower or two tomorrow, 18. Partly cloudy on Sunday, 19. And mostly sunny Monday, 24. At the moment, 24. More news as it happens on FIVEAA.
6 after 6, good morning to you. Welcome to Friday on FIVEAA Breakfast. It is the 20th of October. It is a beautiful morning out there at the moment. If you've got to go out for whatever reason, grab the newspaper off the lawn, bring the bins in, or you're just going for a stroll. Right now, outside in Adelaide, it's 24 degrees. I walked out to the car, was parked out in the street this morning. I thought, crikey, this is about as good as it ever gets at this time of day. We are 1 degree away from being the hottest place in Australia, which means Darwin's 25, we're 24. The next warmest place is Brisbane at 16. It's unbelievably balmy and beautiful. It's not going to stay that way, though. The change comes through. Tomorrow it's going to be cool, but we'll talk more about the weather with the Bureau later this hour. Lots going on this weekend. The Beta Birdwood, the Playford International Tennis Comp. We're going to be speaking with the key players in that. We'll get you across all the news, both international and local, over the course of the morning. And, of course, it is a meat tray day. We have a meat tray to give away thanks to Liam Jones and the team. My local butcher, Chanella's 62 Prospect Road at Prospect. David Pemberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Will. That was the world's longest intro.
Sorry about that.
I was just sitting here thinking.
I was going to try and go all the way through to 9.
Am I going to get to say anything?
No, I didn't. My aim was I was going to try and freeze you out.
I thought maybe it was because I sort of meandered towards the end yesterday by ruminating about how much I loved salt. And you thought it...
Yeah, I was worried.
Really?
Running out of steam.
That's right. It's like a pinball machine. Eventually it clocks itself and just goes back to the start.
No, I wanted to tell a bit of a weather anecdote at the start.
No, it was good. It was good. It was very good. It's a big weekend in the Goodings household, though, isn't it, Will?
Big day today.
Big day today. So it's today. I thought it was tomorrow.
Today's the day. This day, a year ago, I was not here.
Unbelievable. I cannot believe that it's a year since Rosie was
since Lucy got the late call-up. At about
4 o'clock in the morning.
4 in the morning. That would have been a pleasant text for everybody to receive. Sorry about that, team. But that was, 2 hours ago, 365 days ago, that happened. And then in the next couple of hours, Rosie was born.
I remember getting that text lying in bed going, yikes. It's all happening. It is all happening at Shea Goodings. So 1 year on, mate. That's incredible.
It is. It's bizarre how quickly time goes by,
and so many milestones in that first year.
But then the time goes
not
along.
Just for you either.
No,
for the baby too.
No, I think mostly I was the one that had to grow up. She's been fired.
That's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Having a kid, you got to start behaving yourself.
Yeah, you start seeing yourself. All the things you do and say. You think, now there's an audience for that.
Yeah,
that kind of silliness, that malarkey. But then you look at the little person, and you remember they started out, there's this tiny little, ball that coughed and pooed, and that was about it. And now she's this little person that has demands, has thoughts.
Has she got a big personality?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's getting, I don't know, we have to sort of get her into shape, because she's sort of, it's her way or the highway. She's
really?
Oh, yeah.
That's excellent. Does she crack it?
Oh, absolutely. She's a chatterbox. She was never super fast developmentally with crawling or hands or. From. Oh yeah, language-wise though, she says she can say some words, and she certainly makes herself heard and known.
Does she say mama?
She says mum and dad.
Dad.
She has a pretty good go at duck.
She
loves ducks.
I bet she
little
said
toy ducks.
First.
No, she said dad first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said dad first. Dad,
kids almost always said mama.
You know what her best word for saying is? The word she uses in context and appropriately all the time?
Is it paces?
No, it's not. It's no. No. She says no.
Well, the referendum probably affected her.
She was a powerful word. She found a lot of Jacinta Price's arguments very compelling. She says...
Geez, Karen Little was impressive this morning. No.
She's a constitutional conservative. She just had, she
exactly.
said,
why enshrine it in the Constitution?
She said, convince me. But she says no triple-barreled every time, because when she was little and she'd go for something, I'd go, no. So now she says to me, if I'm saying, don't do something or grab something or take something off her, no. Constantly.
That's excellent.
But anyway, yeah, we've got a kid's birthday inspired meat tray Friday, because tomorrow morning is her first birthday party.
So you're having the
day. Tomorrow is the big party. Bigger than Ben Hur, this thing.
We sort of have a party year than a no party year.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you don't need to do it all the time. Some kids' parties as well, they turn into... I think there's a lot of one-upmanship these days. I'm not denouncing on air every single parent of a child my kids plays with there, but I was more thinking of when I lived in Sydney. Some of the parties over there were so ridiculous. You just go to these things thinking, crikey,
Yeah, my God.
this has got catering.
Yeah.
You know, can't we just put out a big bowl of, snakes alive for the kids to all go mental running around eating sugar? Speaking of that, though, and this is the inspiration, we want to hear your kids' birthday anecdotes, including funny stuff and disasters where things go wrong. It could be your experiences trying to make a cake in the shape of Elmo that ends up looking so terrifying that it looks like Freddy Krueger instead.
That's a good idea. So you're baking and cooking disasters.
But not just that, but I'll tell you a story. I think it was when Soph was 2 or 3. So Soph or Jim. We had a party and it was a party year for the kids. Well, no, it was Soph, because she loved the Wiggles. We had Captain Feathersword, a guy dressed as Captain Feathersword, but also his friend Wags the dog come to the party as a surprise for all the kids. And there were about 20 kids at the party. It's pretty much your entire class from childcare. And Wags has got his own theme song. So to set the scene, all the kids were in the lounge. We said, all right, kids, just sit in the lounge. We've got a surprise for you. And they're all sitting there on the ground, cross-legged, behaving themselves, waiting, anticipation. Captain Feathersword comes down the corridor and he's holding a ghetto blaster, one of those portable tape players, and this song starts blaring.
Here comes Wags, my dog Wags. He eats so much that his tummy drags. Oh me, oh my. He barks all day and night.
So then this giant adult-sized Wags the dog person, like some, uni student, inside the Wags the dog costume, just comes into the lounge and standing directly in front of the children, towering above them, dancing like with his arms from side to side. And the kids just all totally lost it. Like they
were terrified.
They were screaming. One of them went off, and then they all just followed suit. And we had to tell these people to leave the party.
You had to ask Wags to leave.
Well, I think we paid them like $250 each, and then we had to say, sorry, guys. And, we didn't ask for a refund. But Wags terrified all the kids so much. And some of the kids actually just left the party. Their parents couldn't get them to calm down again. I mean, is it wrong to say it was actually really funny?
Yeah, that's actually one of the funniest things I've ever heard. What a scene. Abject terror on the kids. Imagine poor Wags doing the dance.
It totally stuffed the party. And I was out the front talking to Wags and Captain Feathersword and thinking, they said, you'd be surprised how often this happens. I said, you guys are bloody sadists. Just going around Western Sydney terrorising children and getting paid for it.
Any kids' birthday disasters or happy or funny stories? We'd love to hear them this morning. It's the Meat Tray Friday question we're asking you. It's about kids' birthday parties. Warnings, messages, good experiences, bad experiences. Let us know. 8223 0000 is the number. You can text us on the Duttons text line as well, 0480 08 1395. We'll get to some news headlines in a moment.
Before it's with the chef, before it's on your plate, before it's on your lips, that sensational cut of beef, lamb, pork or poultry was in the hands of a great butcher. My Butcher, feeding 250,000 South Australians every week. The pleasure's all theirs, and luckily, they're all ours. 100% locally owned and operated since 1999. My Butcher, meat with care.
Step up your off-road camping game. Step up to independent coil spring suspension and reinforced shocks. Step up to a Red Arc battery management system. This summer, step up to an Austrac camper.
Austrac campers.
Sold by McGain again.
And because there's still limited stock, it's important to get along to these open inspections.
On Sunday from 11:30am to 12pm, Zoe Ball and Mike Dobbin are opening 14 Zoran Court Woodcroft. This fantastic family home in a quiet cul-de-sac features 4 bedrooms with ensuite, updated kitchen and main bathroom, formal lounge with office and study space, open plan dining and family room. There's also a huge pitched entertaining area, locked up garage and carport with space for secure boat or indeed caravan storage. 695 to 745k.
And then on Sunday from 1 to 1:30pm, Zoe and Mike are opening 22 3rd Avenue, Cheltenham. It's an original 1930s 3-bedroom home, presenting a great chance to renovate or redevelop. Features timber floorboards, original fireplace, plus a lock-up garage and veranda. You could create your own dream home on this flat 460 square metre block with double access. Best offers by November 6.
G'day, it's Rory Sloan. The Kluger 7-seat SUV with a brand new sophisticated design and powerful on-road stance. Your choice of an economical and powerful all-wheel drive hybrid engine or improved 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo engine. Plus Toyota's latest safety technology designed to support safe driving. This 7-seater has flexible cargo space thanks to the folding second and third rows. Take a test drive of the new Kluger today at Jarvis Toyota, South Road, Clovelly Park. Proudly celebrating 21 years of great deals.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
17 minutes after 6, news headlines on this Friday morning, the 20th of October. A third repatriation flight carrying Australians and their families who have evacuated Israel will touch down in Sydney in the next half hour. 27 citizens who fled Tel Aviv are on board the Emirates flight, along with 7 Israeli family members and 9 people from Papua New Guinea. Which makes sense, I guess, to be smaller countries with people that are over there too that we could help out in the process.
There'll be people working there. Well, it's like the Filipino community. There's so many Filipinos over there.
46 Australians remain stranded inside Gaza. There was the American TV show did a good insight into some of the people there, and the reasons people are in Gaza are the most relatable reasons you can imagine. The people went and visited their grandma.
Yeah.
They would typically live in New York and they're, I don't know, school teachers.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, you know, they're not there because they love Hamas.
No.
They're doing family stuff.
That's right, yeah.
The problem is Hamas is in there too.
National health bodies, including the AMA, want alcohol producers to print warning labels on beer and wine, similar to those on cigarette packs.
Here we go.
The federal government is seeking advice on options for raising consumer awareness about the health implications of alcohol consumption, including liver disease and poor mental health. Ignoring, in fact, the reality that we like to point to. It's now 49 years since alcohol consumption peaked in Australia. It was 1974. It's almost the 50th birthday of the peak, and we've fallen away consistently ever since. Never drunk less.
Conversely, our capacity for paranoia and treating adults like babies rises in the opposite direction. And, you know, we've just seen the pregnancy warnings that have been put on wine bottles. I really, for the life of me, don't know why it is that wholly reputable South Australian winemakers, distillers, you know, if you're making Prohibition gin or, you know, Penfolds 389, why do you have to have a, you know, Brian, the guy with lung cancer on the cigarette pack, the guy lying there with his tongue hanging out, you know, this is him 8 weeks before he died, this is him at death's door. Why on earth is the health lobby talking about these sorts of shock tactics for a product which overwhelmingly, especially in its bottled form, is sold to people who drink it socially with friends and never give it a nudge? Or rarely give it a nudge.
Who's this aimed at too? Younger people don't drink that much. I don't know how this fits into this conversation, but there was an interesting study about companionship and intimacy and things that came out earlier in the week. It was the New York Times did a piece on it. Yeah, without being delicate about it, younger people are intimate less often than their parents and grandparents were.
Yeah, right. Because they're not drunk enough.
One of the reasons they drink significantly less. That's actually what this not the reason, but weird. One of the reasons that the study pointed to.
I mean, clearly there are. You look at alcohol fetal syndrome. You look at the issue that, you know, women who have a drinking problem when they become pregnant, you know, devastating effects on children in utero. But conversely, how many people weren't conceived by slightly drunk people?
Absolutely.
What's the percentage of the population whose parents hadn't had a couple when they were conceived?
I think there's something to this theory.
It's easily more than half.
Yeah,
surely. Friday night. To it. I just feel like I'm turning in, dear. You know,
yeah.
A bit on the couch, a couple of vinos. Like that's fairly normal, isn't it?
It's the circle of life.
That's right.
A leading voice in sports medicine is slamming the AFL's illicit drugs policy, with 2 players facing sanctions. Melbourne's Joel Smith tested positive to cocaine in a game day test in August. He's now subject to a Sports Integrity Australia investigation. Carlton recruit and former Gold Coast Sun trader just this past week, Elijah Hollands, will face court this month after being charged with possession of an illicit substance. Dr. Peter Larkins is telling the Worldwide of Sports on 9, AFL players should know better.
They're the most educated group of athletes I know, professional athletes. They are told about the dangers of drugs. They're warned about that they will be tested. So to sort of thumb your nose at the system and go down that track, to me, there has to be a stronger deterrent some way, and I guess that is removing them from the game in a more lengthy time.
Well, I think what's notable about both these stories, so Joel Smith got done by the national, international drug testing people, not the AFLs. That's why we know about it. Elijah Hollands got charged by police. That's why we know about it. Now,
but if it was the AFL alone that had found out, none of us would know about it.
None of us would know. And these guys get tested more often by the AFL than they do by WADA or whoever the international body is, and more often than they're getting frisked by police. So,
what are you saying?
What's the real picture of illicit drug use in the AFL?
Yeah.
We won't know because of the AFL's drug testing.
I'll tell you what, one thing you don't need with elite athletes is silly stickers on wine bottles. Because that's not the problem.
That doesn't seem to be what they're getting busted for too
No,
often.
It's this kind of stuff.
The clean-up will continue today at the Pagoda Chinese restaurant in Frueville after a large kitchen fire. Cooking oil left unattended fueled the blaze on Glen Osmond Road late yesterday. A 70-year-old man is recovering in hospital after suffering minor burns. All other staff evacuated safely. How about this gross story? The ex-partner, former Prime Minister Julia Gillard, has been convicted and fined for sexually assaulting a female friend. He pled guilty to assaulting the woman after she fell asleep at home in Melbourne. They were watching a Whitney Houston documentary. Court heard the woman was left feeling so unsafe. She ended up moving interstate.
Yeah.
Not suggesting, don't know whether these two things are related, but 2 weeks later he broke up with Julia Gillard.
Yeah. No, it's horrible.
Just a
deeply unpleasant.
Shocking story. And just lastly, banks are being accused of virtue signalling as data reveals they spent millions of money on supporting for the Voice campaign at the same time as they laid off people. NAB invested $1.5 million in the Yes campaign and laid off 222 staff in September. Opposition leader Peter Dutton has told News Corp corporations should butt out of lecturing Australians. Well, it was $1.5 million poorly spent in the end, wasn't it?
The amount of money that Corporate Australia did spend on it was quite staggering. BHP spent, $2 million? There was some. I saw the BHP CEO. His argument was, well, look, okay, there's a business argument for doing this. And historically, BHP's had a really, really, really bad relationship with Aboriginal Australia. It's done a couple of things that have caused all sorts of dramas. And I think from a craven sort of point-scoring exercise with their Indigenous stakeholders, they could argue that it was actually a good look for the company with those people, with those communities. And you can make that argument with shareholders.
That's a good point.
You know, I'm not making the argument myself. I'm repeating the argument as put by the BHP CEO. But I don't know, the NAB, Big W.
It's amazing.
That was just sort of look at me, but just how did they ever think it was going to shift anyone's vote other than to shift it away from yes?
The thing that I can't pass is that BHP in the mining industry did such an incredible job lobbying Australians to reject the mining tax. And that was the kind of thing you'd think naturally your reaction would be, well, of course, you guys don't want to pay more tax on your billions of dollars profits. Yet they did those incredibly effective ad campaigns about average workers and the Australian economy, and people bought into it. Yet
I think they bought into it because they'd worked Rudd out by then.
Yeah, okay.
I reckon there was a bit of that.
It was a Rudd thing as much as it was the campaign.
Yeah, that Rudd, you know what head.
Twop of 27 today. Right now it's dropped down to 22.6. Still beautiful outside. It's going to be a pretty reasonable day. Then the change comes in. It gets cooler tomorrow. Top of 18. Possibly a shower or two up to a mil. Sunday 19. And Monday's warm again. 24 on Monday. 22 Tuesday. 18 and maybe a drizzle on Wednesday. And then 20 on Thursday. So more of a mild week coming up. Tom Wren's in the studio with us on the eve of another big weekend in sport. There's plenty of stock for immediate delivery on Mitsubishi Triton from Agostina, Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth. Morning, do you ready?
Morning, Will. Morning, David. Yeah, big weekend, and we'll get to that in a moment. I did hear your audio, though, just a few minutes ago regarding the Demons and Joel Smith and what's going on there. And fascinating article this morning, opinion piece by Mark Robinson, who, I thought raised two pretty interesting points. And there's been a bit spoken about Clayton Oliver, a bit alluded to in the media, and Simon Goodwin and everything that's happening at that football club. And I think this probably sums it up. No more denials, no more, sweeping it under the carpet, shooting the messenger. But just two questions. What the hell is going on at your football club and what are you doing about it?
Yeah, fair question.
I think they're probably fair questions.
There's a really good piece that by Rollo.
It was, I thought. He doesn't... Look, I think he cops some grief, Robbo, but I think he's... I really enjoy reading his stuff. And
I like
listening
him.
to him.
Yeah, he's got a nice everyman. For someone like me who's not a football tragic, I think he often picks, and this is a great example, he picks like a different entry point for a story.
Yeah.
Like a lot of what he writes is real, rating players that I've never heard of. And
Yes.
I'm not reading that. But this is good because it's about culture. And it's about leadership.
And it's stuff that's going to make Melbourne people feel uncomfortable.
It's becoming less and less of a mystery why Melbourne have underachieved with the incredible list they've got. And they got a great team. Well, they won a premiership
Really good.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yep.
Have they played it? Did they play off in another grand final?
No, they've gone out in straight sets the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. That's to this point, as someone sitting well outside the club, that's been inexplicable.
Yeah.
I'm no longer left grasping for answers. There's something wrong inside that club.
And it's not all of it, because they've got someone like Jack Viney, who I know through family connections, the straightest, most dedicated person you will ever meet.
100%.
But clearly, within that club, there's others that aren't. And I'm not saying it's isolated just to Melbourne, but there are some issues there right now which are coming to the fore, and a lot of people asking questions. Tonight, I know you haven't been, and I think probably most people haven't been as invested in the World Cup thus far. I think tonight's the night, if you can, to jump on. Australia-Pakistan. Pakistan are a great side to watch. They're really exciting. So it's boom or bust just about. Travis Head's gone over there. He won't be able to play because he's literally going to land there today. He'll play the next game, but this is hugely important. If they lose this, they're just about gone. But I think I might have seen the winners last night. I watched India, a fair bit of it, against Bangladesh. Boy, they look good.
Is Alex Carey over there, Tom?
He is.
Yeah.
He's been dropped.
Yeah, right.
Inglis made some runs last game, didn't he?
He did. And how can I put this?
Is he still rattled by what happened in England?
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. All people, I'm in this boat, and I think you maybe to a degree, and we all like to be liked, right? Some of us, if people have an opinion that you've done something wrong, just go, couldn't care less.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
okay.
That's David.
Yeah.
That is very.
But I don't think Alex fits in that basket.
Yeah, okay.
And
It's
so
really eaten away at him.
I think it's eaten away at him.
That's a real shame because he did nothing wrong.
I think he'll bounce
He
back.
did nothing
Exactly. And I think it was only the English press, really.
These are horrible bastards in the long room.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, God, they're...
He'll bounce back. He's a strong man. He's a great person. But I think he's battling.
Yeah.
So hope he gets back.
Don't like hearing that. Thank you, Redding.
Thanks, boys.
On you, Tom.
Plenty of stock ready for immediate delivery on Mitsubishi Triton from Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
It's Ian Healy, and I'm here to talk to you about back pain and Kiza. If you're one of the 80% of Australians who suffer from back pain, it's tempting to do nothing. But this can cause weaknesses down the road. The best place to start with back pain is exercise, and the best place to exercise is Kiza. Kiza's physios and Swiss-designed strength training equipment help you build strength in a supervised environment. I go to Kiza, and you can too, at our new clinic in Norwood. Book your initial assessment at kiza.com.au.
For nearly 40 years, no one has done certified used cars quite like Steinborner Automotive, with dedicated yards including SA's best range of commercials loaded and ready to go, including SA's only dedicated small car and SUV centre, and SA's only large SUV and 4x4 centre suited for any lifestyle. Steinborner still also has the best range of Commodores from ZBs to the collectibles. View all late model used vehicles at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth the trip.
Getting the job done should involve a scavenger hunt. You deserve a one-stop shop when it comes to all things tools for tradies and serious DIYs. It's all in one place. That place is Toolkit Depot.
We love Toolkit Depot. They've got a huge range of top brand power tools, equipment, safety gear and workwear, and they've also got you covered with specialist advice to help you get it all done.
Don't wait. Kickstart spring with Toolkit Depot. Visit any one of the 5 Toolkit Depot stores across SA, Gawler, Parafield, Myland, Melrose Park and Seaford. Open 7 days a week or shop online.
So for more on store locations and the brands that they stock, just visit toolkitdepot.com.au. Toolkit Depot, everything you need to get the job done.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Becoming cloudy and 27 with the 6:30 news. I'm Kendall Brentig.
Keep your body in shape with Physio Extra clinical Pilates and group exercise classes. PhysioExtra.com.
Israeli airstrikes have pounded the Gaza Strip as hundreds of vehicles carrying aid wait to be allowed into the war zone. More from Edward Godfrey in Tel Aviv.
For days, there's been speculation about when Israel's ground invasion of Gaza might go ahead, if it's still the plan. But this evening, we've been given the strongest indication yet that it may be not far away. Israel's defence minister has visited troops gathered along the border, giving them something of a pep talk and telling them they'll be seeing Gaza from the inside very soon. It comes as the flow of aid is expected to commence possibly as soon as tomorrow, with the first 20 trucks of humanitarian aid allowed to cross the border between Egypt and Gaza under a deal brokered by the US President Joe Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Gaza has continued to be bombarded today by Israeli forces as the humanitarian crisis deepens within the Gaza Strip, and there are growing calls, including from the UN, for an immediate ceasefire.
While more Australians are arriving at Sydney Airport on the third repatriation flight from Israel, 46 Australians remain in Gaza. Cooking oil left unattended has done some serious damage to a restaurant kitchen at FIVEAA. The MFS was called to the Pagoda Chinese restaurant late yesterday afternoon. A man at the Glen Osmond Road premises suffered minor burns trying to put out the flames. The 70-year-old was taken to hospital. A farming community in the state's mid-north will come together today to farewell a father and son. 50-year-old Ben and 24-year-old Charlie Mumford were killed when their Cessna crashed earlier this month. The funeral service will be held at the local football oval this afternoon. Health courses continue to dominate the top spots for early bird applications for universities. More than a quarter of first preferences are related to the health industry, including medicine and nursing. University Admissions Centre spokeswoman Kim Payno says society and culture courses follow closely behind, with 1/5 of applications.
That's the term used for the field of study, but it's broad and it includes things like law and psychology, and we know those are very popular areas of study as well.
Taxpayers will bear the cost of 5 days special leave for Queensland public servants. Director-Generals across all departments have been told of the special entitlement being put in place in the wake of the failed Voice to Parliament referendum. It's understood the move is to ensure the well-being of employees is protected and they feel supported following the overwhelming no vote. While it's been revealed banks spent millions of dollars on support for the Voice while laying off workers, NAB invested $1.5 million in the Yes campaign while laying off 222 staff in September. The new A-League season kicks off tonight with Adelaide United hosting reigning premiers Central Coast at Hindmarsh Stadium. Transport Minister Tom Koutsantonis says fans can get free travel to and from the game across the Adelaide Metro network.
For the first time ever, we're creating the Red Express. People can use their memberships, their season pass or their tickets to Hindmarsh to go watch the Reds play at Hindmarsh now on a tram, on a bus or on a train for free.
Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
There's plenty of stock ready for immediate delivery on Mitsubishi Triton from Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Australia is likely to go into tonight's World Cup clash against Pakistan with an unchanged lineup after beating Sri Lanka earlier this week. A win will bring the Aussies back to level pegging ahead of Travis Head's arrival in India as he looks to return from injury. Captain Pat Cummins admits it won't be easy.
They're a side that always seems to be right up there. Pretty well structured, I think, across, some really good quick bowlers who can do some damage, some spin bowlers that, can bowl 20 of their overs plus. And then they've got, I think Rizwan's leading run scorer, Babar Azam's always good. A couple of other batters that have scored a lot of ODIs lately.
Last night, India took care of Bangladesh by 7 wickets, with the home side easily chasing down the target of 257 with more than 8 overs to spare, as Virat Kohli finished unbeaten on 103 from just 97 balls. South Australia will take on New South Wales today in a one-dayer at Adelaide Oval, and the WBBL season got underway last night with the Melbourne Stars winning a thriller against the Sydney Sixers by 2 runs. Well, a disappointing result for the Adelaide 36ers overnight, going down at home to the southeast Melbourne Phoenix by 17 points. But it was a good club debut for Dejan Vasiljevic, scoring 17 points himself. As we heard earlier, Adelaide United's men will kick off their season at home tonight against the reigning champions, the Central Coast Mariners. And the Australian Diamonds have lost Game 3 of netball's Constellation Cup to New Zealand, going down 56-53. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Beaumont's new showroom is now open at Seaford Meadows with 25% off all tiles this Saturday only.
Becoming cloudy and 27 today, a shower or two tomorrow down to 18, partly cloudy on Sunday 19 and mostly sunny Monday 24. At the moment 23. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
23 to 7, police and weather coming up. Giving away a meat tray this morning, thanks to Liam Joner and the team. My local butcher, Chanella's, 62 Prospect Road at Prospect. Talking kids' birthday parties. Have you had any good experiences? Had any nightmares? Anything like David's where the entertainment's turned up and scared all the children off? Let us know. 8223 000. Getting some good texts through on that front.
I haven't told you about the ferry that we hired for another party. Let's maybe save that one for off air. One here. I like this. G'day, lads. My son had never seen the Crows win, as we haven't been that good for a while. So tactically, I decided we'd take him and his mates to the Crows versus West Coast this year to celebrate his big day. And when Tex kicked his 10th, he turned to me and said, "Dad, this is the best birthday ever."
Oh, how good's that?
Good on you, Mick.
Father of the year.
I like this one from Mark in Stirling. Our first child's first birthday was a disaster. His mum and aunt spent hours on his teddy bear cake. Unfortunately, the photos show it as an early version of Jabba the Hutt, and he still bears the scars. Making kids' birthday cakes. You see that Women's Weekly book and think, oh, that looks pretty straightforward. Cut a bit of sponge into 3 triangles.
They look spectacular.
They never come out like that.
No.
Well, certainly not on the rare occasion I've tried to do them. Where are we? Brett from the park. Morning, gents. Congratulations, Will, making the first one. My youngest daughter was born in February. She just wanted a dolly cake. I think it's basically a doll's head or torso on top of a ballroom gown. Dad was making it in 36-degree heat. The coloured butter icing was turning into soup, running down, wouldn't hold up. There was no frill on the gown. It was flat. My other masterpiece was a large carved watermelon shark's mouth, open with teeth made out of blue jelly around it. The legs of this doll was placed in the mouth looking like it was trapped, and it took all the attention away from the dodgy cake.
That's thinking, Brad. Thank you.
That's excellent.
Great texts on the Duttons text line. 3 dealerships and 10 franchise in the Adelaide Hills and Murray Bridge. Duttons, easy to do business with. Received some beautiful gifts over the course of the week for Rosie, actually, from some of our listeners. Some very clever people. Rosemary in Eulabre's just called in. Rosemary, are you the Rosemary that sent me something this week?
Yes, Will.
Rosemary, you are so talented. I was talking with my wife about this earlier in the week. What is this? How do you make the things you make? What do you call that? Is it sewing? Is it embroidery? What is it?
It's embroidery, and that was at the birthday thing that I made for her. Was applique, and the other one was just I've had a terrible year, but I will get made a little, like an animal for her. I just haven't had a chance to do it.
Because this is not the first time you provided you sent us a gift to when she was first born. My parents are convinced that I've made it up, that I've got these things from a listener, and they're not professionally made by some artisan in France or something or other. That is spectacular. The thing we're trying to describe now is sort of a mat with all these beautiful messages of happy birthday and things on it. And honestly,
our listeners are so
beautiful,
generous.
Rosemary. So thank you from my wife and Rosie as well. It's lovely of you.
Oh, look, I love doing it. I have a good sewing group. I go to a group down at the shop is called Sew Focus, and it's on the beginning of the old Port Road. And then I have a group at Gawler I go with, and we just love the atmosphere with the girls and that, and it makes it so pleasurable. And to do it for young ones, I just love it. It's that's the highlight of my life.
Well, thank you.
To do those things,
We
and
really appreciate it.
Oh, well, I love doing it, and it just came around so quickly, Rosie.
It did. Yeah. You're telling us.
But, no, and I will finish what I was doing. My husband is getting better, so, I'm getting more time now, so
that's good, Rosemary.
Good.
I'm glad to hear that.
We wish him all the best.
Oh, thank you. But to make the cakes, David, you've got to have the love, the time. I made all my sons, he's 47, but my grandson, who was 13, he keeps saying, Nan, what can we have for a birthday cake this year? And the hardest one I've had to do was the sphere, I can't remember the name of it. I'm getting too old now. From Star Wars. You know that round grey thing in...
Is it called the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah,
Or the Death Star?
Yeah, the Death Star.
Yeah.
The Death Star.
Yeah.
You made a Death Star cake.
How amazing.
And he wanted... I said, so what's the idea for this year? And he said, and so he told me, and his mother said, Nan won't be able to do that. Nan will. She'll be able to do anything. Well, it did turn out beautiful.
Well,
and,
lovely.
So you've got to have the love in it, and particularly when you're doing something for someone that really enjoys. Like my grandson says to me, this year, Nan, can we make stockings again for all the kids in my class? Because I put their names on them. And Rosie's probably a harder one to get than Rosemary.
Yes.
If you have anything on it. And that's why I like doing names on things. Because my grandson's name's Gabriel, and he used to go in every shop to see if there were books or things with his name on, and that's why I started doing them all,
Yeah, it's a lovely idea. Rosemary, thank you so much for calling in. Again, thank you for your beautiful gift as well. It helps having someone very talented in the family, I guess, for those magnificent cakes.
That happened to me too.
Hey, there we go, happy birthday! Hey! Wow, that scared the hell out of me, that did. Hey, look at you guys. Oh, look at that.
There's a cake.
It's beautiful. Oh, it's got our picture on it. It's a shame it's got my picture on it. That's made it somewhat less delectable. But, thank you, guys. That's
Is it
beautiful.
a picture of you and Rosie?
It is. Where's the live stream?
Well,
I didn't know you could
Yeah.
play audio from outside the studio. That scared the hell out of me. I'm thinking, what have I done here? I've stuffed this up royally.
How did you do
that's
it?
beautiful.
So you were away when you had your 40th birthday, Will, and we never got to celebrate your 40th in July.
Oh, so we're doing it now.
Doing it now,
Hey!
along with Rosie, and we knew you'd love to celebrate.
I don't know. Can we live stream? Can we see that? I can't
Brookie's
see.
got a photo on the Food Lab
Oh, good.
live stream.
Okay, great.
Don't hold it up on an angle, it'll land on the mixing
It's
desk.
been in the fridge.
Yeah, you were yapping on about how it's still
look
24
at that.
degrees, so I rushed it into the fridge.
Would it be okay with you guys if I took the picture off, took it home and said, Alison, I know I shouldn't have gone overboard, but I thought I'd bring a cake home.
That's a great idea.
Hey, what do we think about that? Can we keep it amongst ourselves?
She probably doesn't listen to the show.
No, she's asleep.
I'm sure Rosie's listening and will be devastated to hear her dad doesn't want to
She
share
might
a
be
birthday
awake.
cake with her. Huge thanks to the Cheesecake Shop. The Modbury team
Oh,
whipped it up
how
for
cool.
us. Thank you, Manoj. Really appreciate that. For Will's 40th. I think it's a sponge cake with fresh cream and strawberries, and they organised the picture for me. They gave us the strawberries. They've done it all.
Is that edible, that picture?
Can't take the credit. I'm not sure.
Where'd they get the picture from? It looks a little bit like they've just got a JPEG of Rosie's face and put it over Mangiarelli's face. It's like a Channel 7 promo pic.
No, it's actually from Will's Instagram. I stole it.
That's a really
so
cute
Will,
picture,
to
actually. I
celebrate
really like that.
your 40th back in July and Rosie's first birthday today.
You guys.
Celebrating it today.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. That's very nice.
We never did anything for your 40th.
I generally try and escape. Yeah, I've got the best time birthday in the world.
He was
to
away
remain totally
July the 5th.
I'm never here for it.
Timely.
I avoid it every time.
It's just like you suddenly turn 40.
Yep, that's my aim every year.
Yeah. So you didn't do anything? Not a party with... Well,
No.
You don't have to tell us.
No,
Maybe you did.
we took
Maybe
away...
you had a party with your real friends. Yeah, good thing.
No, we took all the family away. We all went away together, both My family.
Oh,
and-
Fiji.
Yeah, and Alison's family. So
That's
we thought
right,
we'd
Dave. We
do
were
something
made
with the
to stay
families.
back here, and Sam and Rennie, we weren't invited to Fiji,
I
so
know.
so we celebrated for Will without him.
So how about, so you can panel from outside the studio? So really, the's no job for me here anymore at all, is what you're telling me.
We could just play audio outside
Yeah,
the
okay,
studio.
right. Okay.
Between that and AI, we're stuffed. Oh, well. Get rid of the old alarm
Thank you,
clock, I guess.
guys. I appreciate it. That's lovely of you.
Well done, guys.
Thank you so much. Now, this place is a mess.
It is, isn't it? Look at it.
What we're going to do?
It's like the
with
MCG.
this. All right, let's. I'll tell you what. Let's do a little clean up. We're going to check traffic and come back with police and weather in just a moment. Thanks to Keezer. Tired of back pain? Time to try Keezer. KIESER.com.au.
Thanks, Will, and good morning. Roads are looking A-OK for a Friday. Always a nice way to end of the weekend with no hassles. The freeway accident and breakdown free all the way from Callington through to Glen Osmond. Southern Expressway working well too. Got a few delays around Fullerton for those works. Fullerton Road and Glen Osmond Road. And look out for a camera today, Main North Road at Enfield. The sound of you enjoying a delicious barista-made coffee from OTR. Pop in and get your pick-me-up now at OTR. Making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
I was just doing my job. I didn't think I'd get injured.
The doctor said it was a routine procedure? Right.
The car came out of nowhere and it smashed right into us.
At DBH Lawyers, we're here to listen to your story. Our team of local South Australian lawyers will help you navigate the law and find the best way forward. We're with you. We're for you. We're DBH Lawyers. dbh.com.au.
It's easy to get behind the wheel of a new Mawson Lakes Volkswagen right now. In fact, it's ridiculously easy. All you need to do is head to the showroom on Salisbury Highway. Check out the range of new and demo Volkswagens on sale now, and then pick your favourite. How easy is that? All stock is ready for immediate delivery, with easy finance options available. And remember our next day servicing. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
From Christmas to Easter and New Year's Day, all the year's best and biggest events happen only once every year. Clearly, anything that's only on once a year is worth the wait and cannot be missed.
Spartan Appliances once a year renovator sale is no exception. With deals you'll only see once a year, they're making sure its return is worth your wait.
Now, this is Adelaide's biggest appliance sale. Expect 3 more days of store-wide savings on leading appliance brands, like a huge 10% off all Asco kitchen and laundry appliances, backed by a massive 10-year warranty on all Asco appliances.
You won't get better appliance prices anywhere else. Spartan Appliances once a year renovator sale is on now and ends this Sunday. Hurry into Spartan Appliances in Campbelltown and Torrensville.
We're with Bronte Manual from Toop and Toop. I'm sure you get this question every day, but how's the market?
Record low stock levels combined with really healthy buyer activity means we're continuing to achieve strong results for our clients.
Oh, that's interesting, especially given some of the stuff we keep hearing about living costs. Where's that buyer demand coming from?
Plenty of people are moving here from overseas, but the big change is interstate migration, with more and more people moving to Adelaide from other states.
So I'm guessing you don't expect prices to drop anytime soon then?
Adelaide's annual home values have dropped only twice in 42 years. So history tells us it's extremely unlikely Adelaide house prices are about to decrease.
To find out the value of your home, go to toop.com.au.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
11 to 7. Before we got the frivolity started in the studio, I was going to make a point too. Had Rosemary call in. Lindy as well has sent us some beautiful things. Wonderful craftsmanship. Lindy, thank you as well. Our beautiful and very generous listeners. We really
When
appreciate
Sam and
it.
Charlie were born, Charlie, I can remember, one of our listeners, and I never actually found the card that went with it, but someone knitted some dolls, and one of them was, it was a Charlie Cameron doll. When Charlie Cameron was
I think I remember that coming in. I think I saw that.
in honour of Charlie being born. I mean, you know, little they don't know that he was going to end up playing for the Brisbane Lions, by the by. Was he number 23?
He was number 23.
Yeah. Of course, McLeod's old number. Yeah. We've got a little number 23 Charlie doll at home. It's
Fantastic.
terrific.
This is very clever people. All right, let's talk about the weather, because right now outside it's beautiful. Hannah Marsh at the Bureau of Meteorology joins us. Hannah, it's not going to stay beautiful though, is it?
Well, it depends on your definition of beautiful, but the temperature will be a little bit cooler today and again tomorrow, but starting off from the beginning, it got to 31.7 degrees yesterday. We had a minimum of 19.8 degrees, but that was at 9:28 p.m. last night. So much of the night it was really around the 22 to 24 degree mark, and currently we're sitting on 22.9. And we do have a change that we are expecting to come through around midday. So we're expecting the maximum to get up to around that 27, 28 degree mark, and it will become more cloudy as the day progresses. Then the cold air really comes through overnight, so we'll see the temperature drop down to 18 degrees for tomorrow. There is the chance of seeing a spot or two, particularly during the morning period tomorrow. Then on Sunday, we're looking at a maximum of 19 degrees and partly cloudy, increasing up to 24 on Monday, mostly sunny, ahead of the next system, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Good stuff there, Hannah. A bit of everything. Thanks very much for that, and have a great weekend.
All right, let's head to SAPOL. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad's on the line. Kimberly, we've had a suspicious grass fire at Eden Hills.
Yeah, good morning. It was about 11:20 last night. We had police and fire crews called to the Shepherd's Hill Recreation Park at Eden Hills after reports of a grass fire. Now, luckily, fire crews managed to bring the fire under control really quickly, and there was no damage to any surrounding properties. But we did have to evacuate some residents from nearby Springwood Close just for their safety while crews worked at the scene. We had witnesses reporting to us that fireworks had been set in the area just prior to the fire starting. So we've got our crime scene investigators attending this morning to determine its cause. Police are just asking if anybody has any CCTV in the area, or they've got dash cam footage of anyone travelling through that area at about 11:20 last night, if they could give us a call on the Crime Stoppers number 1800 333 000.
Kimberly, also, there's been an arrest over a stolen car at Elizabeth Park this morning.
Yeah, this was at 3 o'clock this morning. We had police spot a silver Toyota Corolla, which was speeding along Yorktown Road. Now, as we have attempted to catch up to the car, it's actually mounted the curb at the roundabout of Midway Road and popped a tyre. So the occupants have abandoned it and two people run off. However, they were quickly arrested after a quick foot chase. Now, checks revealed that that car had actually been stolen from Unley earlier this month, and it also had a stolen number plate attached to it. We've searched the car and found another stolen number plate as well. So we've arrested the driver, who's a 30-year-old man from Parafield Gardens, charged with the theft of that car, driving disqualified, and the theft of the plates, and also unlawful possession. And the other occupant was a 25-year-old woman from Parafield Gardens. She was arrested on a warrant and also reported for some drug offences after being found in possession of some methamphetamine. So she'll be appearing in court at a later date for that one.
Thank you, Kimberly. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad from SAPOL. The meat tray today, thanks to Liam Joanna and the team. My local butcher, Chanella's, 62 Prospect Road at Prospect, asking you about kids' birthday party stories. We've had Mick, who nailed it, Father of the Year. We've had Wags the dog, who definitely did not nail it. David's story a little bit earlier of the entertainment gone wrong at a kid's party. And lots of people that either have or haven't had success with birthday cakes. Ben in Christie's Beach has called in. Ben, what's your kid's birthday story?
Morning, boys. Happy Friday. About 6 years ago, my son's first birthday, we invited the friends, the family, the extended friends, the next door neighbours, basically everyone on the street. And it was a great day. Everyone had fun. I even proposed to my missus. She said yes, luckily. And everyone was, there was lots of food, sandwiches, lots of little cakes, the birthday cake, and then even someone made a massive paella in the paella pan and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Everyone had a ripper day, and then at about 8 o'clock that night, we were, getting ready to go to bed, and I started to feel a little bit green around the gills.
Oh no! Wasn't the paella, was it, mate?
Well, I started to feel green around the gills, as did my partner, and for the next 8 hours, we both frequented the toilets. I won't go into it too much, and. So then the week after that, apparently a lot of the other people that ate at this birthday party were quite sick, and nobody could ever figure out what it was from until a couple years later, when we had another birthday party, another kid's birthday party, no paella this time, and one of the person that made the paella said, "I wonder if it was from the marinara mix that I broke off the back of the freezer."
Oh, no! Oh. The idea of getting food poisoning from old marinara mix. Yuck!
Oh, I've had food poisoning once, and it's one of the worst things you can have.
Yeah, I've had it.
Oh God, it's bad.
Good way to shed the kilos.
Absolutely it is. Ben, thank you.
Thanks, Ben, for that evocative tale.
Maria's called in. Morning to you, Maria.
Good morning, Will. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good morning, Dave. I've rang to wish, first of all, your beautiful daughter a happy first birthday.
Thank you, Maria.
And 40 years ago today would have been, but he was born on the 21st. It was my son's birthday.
Is that right? Oh.
Yes. So, well, as your daughter's going to be celebrating with balloons and little cakes and sweets, my son will be celebrating his 40th birthday this year with one of his bucket list things to do. He'll be off to New York in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
To do the New York Marathon.
Terrific. How did he get in the marathon? That's tough to get into.
Well, he's going through, he's doing a fundraiser for the Little Heroes Foundation.
Oh, good on him.
Fantastic. So he'll be off on the 1st of November, and the actual race is on the 5th. So, yeah, so if you had told me 40 years ago that my son would be doing that, I wouldn't have believed it. But one very proud mama here.
I bet.
Yeah,
and
good on you,
rightfully
Maria.
so, Maria. That's no small feat.
Happy birthday to your son, too.
Good luck to him
Great
as
call.
well. Let us know how he goes as well. You have to call us back in the new year to let us know how the run and the trip over there in New York went. Thank you, Maria. Russell's called in. Morning, Russell.
Good morning, gents. How are you? Firstly, happy birthday to Rosie.
Thank you,
for her
Russell.
first birthday. And also, it's not why I rang, her and I celebrating birthday the same day.
Happy birthday to you too, Russell.
Excellent,
then.
mate.
Thank you. The reason is my 11-year-old, she was probably 4 or 5 at the time, and we had the birthday party, everything was set, and that morning her tooth came out, her first tooth, and everybody's ready to go. She put it in a glass of water on the breakfast bar, and I'm tidying up before everybody got here, and I threw it down the sink.
Oh, no.
Her first tooth, and she lost it. You know, the worst dad in the world, the tooth fairy's not going to come. Oh, my God, I never lived it down. Even now it comes up on birthday parties now.
How much does the tooth fairy pay at your place, Russell?
I normally go to the ATM and get a loan.
After that, you probably have to.
Oh, I'm forever paying it, guys. Forever
Never
paying
ending
it.
guilt trip.
Let me tell you.
Good on you, mate.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Russell. Keep the stories coming in. Kids' birthday parties. The good, the bad and the ugly. 8223 text us on the Duttons text line.
Just thinking about that Wags the Dog song. Has she got a favourite band yet, or is she not quite at that age?
She's just in the last 2 weeks started loving music. Anything that comes on, she'll sit around dancing to. The more bass, the better.
Yeah, right, really.
She'll just start wiggling and dancing. She absolutely loves it.
Seriously?
Anything. You put on anything and she loves it. But yeah, a bit of bass and she's right into it. She thinks the rap music they play at timeouts in basketball games is basically her heaven in life. It's just...
Really?
Yeah. I'm really concerned about what's going to happen.
Going to get into NWA.
I'm concerned about what's going to happen when she's 8. 5AA News time. News headlines.
Straight out of
next.
Compton.
Since 1982, our passionate teams at First National Real Estate have worked 10,400 days and around 582 million hours across Australia with one common goal: to always put you first. And we'll be here in Adelaide to help you on your journey to your happy place. Be it a tree change, a sea change, upsize, downsize, or finding that investment gem. First National Real Estate. We put you first. firstnational.com.au.
Keep it clean and running like a dream with F10 fuel treatment. Whether it's cars, trucks, earth-moving machinery, boats or bikes, petrol or diesel, no matter what you drive, F10 makes engines run smoother and more efficiently, cleans and protects injectors and pumps, and extends the life of your engine. F10 removes water, wax, varnishes and diesel bug contamination. F10 fuel treatment. Available at Auto One, Atom, Blackwoods, Burson's and Repco stores.
For nearly 40 years, no one has done certified used cars quite like Steinborner Automotive, with dedicated yards including SA's best range of commercials loaded and ready to go, including SA's only dedicated small car and SUV centre, and SA's only large SUV and 4x4 centre suited for any lifestyle. Steinborner still also has the best range of Commodores from ZBs to the collectibles. View all late model used vehicles at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth the trip.
Send me more pics, but unzip all the way.
Hey! Who's sending you pics?
Whoa, hey, don't open that.
Once you've seen an Austrac camper, you'll just
want one.
Austrac.
Austrac.
Austrac Campus.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Becoming cloudy and 27 with the 7 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Hydrotherapy at Physio Extra Marion has individual sessions and classes claimable on private health and NDIS.
Residents in Gaza fear more lives will be lost as Israel pushes forward with its offensive against Hamas. The Defence Force is committing to a ground invasion which it warns will be long and intense. Rami Swalem's home's already been plunged into darkness. He's told today the situation's only getting worse.
Frankly, people are dying here, and with the permission of the USA assistance and the Israeli offensive forces that targeting our women and our children. This is the situation here.
While around 20 trucks are due to enter the war-torn strip after Egypt and Israel agreed to open humanitarian aid routes for a short period of time on Friday local time. And a worldwide caution on travel has been issued to Americans amid rising global tensions. Lauren Tomasi's at the White House.
The US State Department issuing that rare travel warning as tensions simmer across the globe. The caution to Americans comes just hours ahead of US President Joe Biden's primetime address from the Oval Office, with the Commander-in-Chief set to speak not just on America's response to the Hamas terror attacks, but also on the ongoing war in Ukraine. It's a message the world will be watching and comes after a whirlwind trip to Israel, where Biden pledged US support to Benjamin Netanyahu.
A suspicious grass fire broke out at Eden Hills late last night. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says some residents in nearby Springwood Close were evacuated while fire crews tackled the flames.
We had witnesses reporting to us that fireworks had been set in the area just prior to the fire starting. So we've got our crime scene investigators attending this morning to determine its cause.
Well, the clean-up will continue today at the Pagoda Chinese restaurant in Frueville after a kitchen fire. Cooking oil left unattended fuelled the blaze on Glen Osmond Road yesterday. A 70-year-old man's recovering in hospital after suffering minor burns. All other staff evacuated safely. Consumers could soon be warned about the risk of liver disease, cancer and alcohol poisoning when buying beer or wine. The federal government's considering health labels on alcohol similar to those on cigarette packs. Doctors, GPs and advocates are among those pushing for the change. The Sydney Opera House is marking 50 years since officially opening its doors. The iconic landmark was opened by Queen Elizabeth II on this day in 1973. Chief Executive Louise Heron says a number of events are being held to mark the occasion.
We're throwing our doors open wide with a program of music, dance, theatre, art, free events. And for 3 nights, the public can watch a stunning audio-visual laser show as high-powered beams trace the architecture of the building.
The AFL's being told to beef up its illicit drugs policy. Eddie Summerfield has details.
While the dust was setting on the AFL trade period, Carlton reveals recruit Elijah Hollins is facing a charge for possessing an illicit substance while he was a Gold Coast player. The 21-year-old will face court later this month while the AFL's Integrity Unit investigates. The news coming on the same day it became public Melbourne's Joel Smith tested positive to cocaine. That's being investigated by Sports Integrity Australia, as it was a game day test under WADA guidelines. Dr Peter Larkins says the 2 cases show deterrents in the AFL's own illicit drug policy aren't enough.
That is removing them from the game in a more lengthy time.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
There's plenty of stock ready for immediate delivery on Mitsubishi Triton from Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Australia is likely to go into tonight's crucial World Cup clash against Pakistan with an unchanged lineup as they look to continue their winning ways and get their campaign back on track. India again underlined its dominance with a comprehensive 7-wicket win overnight against Bangladesh. Virat Kohli, the star, with an unbeaten century, 103 off 97 balls. Well, Meg Lanning has led the Melbourne Stars to a tight 2-run win over the Sydney Sixers in her return to the Women's Big Bash. The hosts were far from catching Melbourne's run tally before a valiant effort from Sydney captain Ash Gardner and Maitland Brown. It wasn't enough, but Lanning says Sydney kept them on their toes until the final ball.
Ash and Mato batted extremely well to get him back in the game, but I guess it's when the sort of mindset flips to thinking they're supposed to win, I guess you get yourself into a good position that maybe that brings us back into the game and we're able to take our opportunity.
Audio thanks to Fox Sports. The Adelaide Strikers will begin their season tomorrow night against the Melbourne Stars at home, Karen Rolton Oval, and the Redbacks will be in action in a one-dayer later today at Adelaide Oval against New South Wales. Briefly elsewhere, the Adelaide 36ers remain rooted to the bottom of the NBL ladder after a disappointing 17-point loss at home. That was against the South East Melbourne Phoenix. Adelaide United will play its season opener against the Central Coast Mariners tonight, with the women's team to play beforehand in a double-header. And a great morning for Australia's tennis players, with both Aussies Alexei Popyrin and Alex de Minaur winning through to the quarterfinals. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Luther House, the leaders in turning your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof.
Good morning. Roads are working well for the driving today. Accident or breakdown free in the Southern Expressway. The freeways run like a Swiss watch this morning. No hassles there. And Anzac Highway flowing well heading into the city. Do have works at Fullerton. That will get slow throughout the morning. Fullerton Road at Glen Osmond Road. Look out for camera today. Walmer Road at Penfield. Harris Scarf's 4-day sale is on now. 50% off all sheets by Polo, Elysian and Soren. Exclusions apply. End Sunday. Harris Scarf. Great brands, great prices. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Beaumont's new showroom is now open at Seaford Meadows with 25% off all tiles this Saturday only.
Becoming cloudy and 27 today, a shower or two tomorrow down to 18. Partly cloudy on Sunday, 19, and mostly sunny Monday, 24. At the moment, 23. More news as it happens on 5AA.
City Discount Tires.
Get saving this month at City Discount Tires. Grab 3 Falcon Zeek ZE310R passenger car tyres and get the 4th tyre absolutely free. Experience top-notch performance with exceptional grip on both wet and dry surfaces. Steer your way to citydiscounttires.com.au for even more great deals. City Discount Tires. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
8 after 7, good morning to you on this Friday morning. If you're joining us for the first time, for a start, get outside. It's beautiful out there in the morning. Lovely morning. Nice day on the way. Until it changes, then it'll get a little bit cooler, but enjoy it while you can. We've got a meat tray to give away. Thanks to Liam, Joanna and the team, my local butcher, Chanella, 62 Prospect Road at Prospect. Talking kids' birthday parties. Had a lot of fun in the first hour. Birthday parties that went to plan, that it went off the rails. Cooking experiments that either did or didn't work. We've had food poisoning. We've had the entertainment turning up and terrorising small children.
Are you making a cake for Rosie tomorrow, Will, or are you buying one?
We, you know, what was it, Clint Eastwood? It said a man's got to know his limitations.
What's that from? Unforgiven?
Or is it not him? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I
can't think of too many quotes from Unforgiven that apply to a child's first birthday party.
Deserve's got nothing to do with it.
Guess I shout just about every living thing at one time or another.
Is it Clint Eastwood, Lucy? Yeah.
Take away all he's ever
Dirty Harry.
Ever gonna be.
Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry.
Again, not generally child appropriate.
You know, in the excitement, I kind of lost track myself.
Anyway, no, the answer is we know our limitations. There will be no attempted cake making. There will be cake purchasing. Let's get into some of the news cycle this morning before we get to more of your Meat Tray Friday calls and indeed texts on the Dutton's text line. We're also going to cast our mind forward this weekend and talk Beta Birdwood and the Playford International Tennis Comp this hour. We'll get into those a little bit later. We'll start with the big global issue at the moment with regarding to the deteriorating situation in the Middle East. Interestingly, the US earlier this morning announced a worldwide travel alert for American citizens. This has happened pretty rarely. The US president is going to host a address to the nation in just under 4 hours, about 11 a.m. In fact, it'll be about 10:30 a.m. Adelaide time, so just over 3 hours from now. He hosted an address to the nation. There's clearly a bit going on there behind the scenes. He's of course just gotten back from the from Israel. Rishi Sunak, the British Prime Minister, has been with Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, earlier this morning. He's now arrived in Saudi Arabia for talks with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Here he is earlier with Benjamin Netanyahu.
80 years ago, Prime Minister, the civilized world stood with you in your darkest hour. This is our darkest hour. It's the world's darkest hour. We need to stand together, and we want to win. And this is why I value your support, and the fact that you're here. We must win together.
I want to share the deep condolences of the British people and stress that we absolutely support Israel's right to defend itself in line with international law, to go after Hamas, to take back hostages, deter further incursions, and to strengthen your security for the long term.
There is some relief on the way, and some small measure of relief on the way. Hundreds of vehicles carrying aid are set to be allowed into Gaza via the Rafah Pass, which is the border that Gaza has with Egypt. So they're going to allow something like 20 lorries to go through carrying aid, which is a good gesture. That was secured by the US president in sitting down with the leaders of Egypt to try and nut that one out. But it's a contrasting image. That side of the border, you've got the aid lining up. The other side of the border, to the north, you've got the Israeli military lining up. And the reports this morning are that ground invasion is imminent.
You think once Sunak heads home and it just gets back to, the diplomacy side of it fades into the background, it's going to be on for young and old.
Feels that way.
Within the next sort of 3 days.
Here in Australia, today, a milestone day, and I'm not talking about Rosie's birthday for once. I'm talking about a very significant birthday for the Sydney Opera House.
Toe the line, don your suit, hide your truth, wipe your tears. Don't cause trouble, find your bubble, stick to black and white ideas. Play it safe, know your place, know your lines, know your limits. Find a doctrine, get it locked in, build a box and stay in it. Toe the line, don your suit, hide your truth, wipe your tears. Don't cause trouble, find your bubble, stick to black and white ideas.
What's that? What's that piece of music?
That's Tim Minchin's wrote a piece celebrating the 50th birthday of the Opera House. That's getting
50th birthday?
50th birthday of the Sydney Opera House. It was on this day, 1973, Queen Elizabeth II opened the Sydney Opera House, cut 16 bright red ribbons, 2 shells, from which 2 front shells which were attached to 4 tugboats. So
wow.
if you can picture the ribbon like it was a building opening up the entire Sydney Opera House. This weekend, 37,000 visitors are expected to the building, Saturday and Sunday. The eldest children of the designer are going to be there. Jan and Lynn, who are retelling the story of their father getting the job.
What a story it was too. He's no longer with us, but he had no real fond memories of it. He hated the whole thing in the end. Dealing with government and dealing with the public.
The whole process.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly, they say it feels like for them it's the 66th birthday because it started 16 years before it officially opened. So they say it's a different feeling. Here's the CEO of the Opera House, Louise Heron.
It's 50 years to the day since the Opera House opened its doors. It tested the limits of engineering and design and forever changed the image of the nation. In fact, these days it's impossible to imagine Sydney without the Opera House because it has become a symbol of modern Australia.
And what is a significant birthday in this country without a message from the sovereign?
Since its opening in 1973 by my beloved mother, the Sydney Opera House has stood as a continuing legacy for Australians, profoundly influencing contemporary arts and culture, both locally and internationally, and having global recognition as a symbol of modern Australia.
King Charles releasing a statement to mark the occasion on the 50th anniversary of the most iconic building in the Southern Hemisphere.
It's such a genuinely stunning building. And you can't imagine Sydney without it. It's just crazy to think, like, what was there before? It was just a park. It's just up the road from
It's hard to imagine what...
Botanic Gardens at the end of Macquarie Street. But, one of the truly great things, like, I spent 3 years working out of the Bureau in the New South Wales Parliament, and often at lunch, we'd just go down to Martin Place. There was this little sandwich shop, and you could buy a sandwich for like $7. I always get chicken, celery, and walnut. These are these excellent sandwiches. And then we'd just walk down, me and a few of the journos would walk down to just past the Botanic Gardens, and we'd often just go and sit there at the Opera House. The other thing too, there's all these great bars there. So in summer, and summer in Sydney feels like it goes for about 8 months a year because the weather's so good, we'd often just walk down, grab a beer, and grab half a dozen oysters and just sit there. And it's not expensive or elitist. It's just like going to the pub. And you sit there looking out at the bridge with Luna Park in the background. Like, I just think about that, and this whole Sydney-Melbourne thing. People go, I like Melbourne. I think, what on earth is there in Melbourne that comes close to that? I mean, I've got no real issue with Melbourne. Well, I never really care if I ever go there again or not.
I think you do.
Yeah, I do a bit, don't I? But just stop the fight. Sydney is just stunning.
Well, I think Sydney has those pinch yourself moments where you go, as if we're just looking at this everywhere you turn. Like, I know I've got family that lives in Sydney that catch a ferry to work across Sydney Harbour every day. I think but I've also got family that grew up in the western suburbs of Sydney.
Yeah, well,
and that's where, when you say stop the fight, if you're outside, the most magnificent parts of I think nothing rivals the harbour.
Oh, but a lot of Western
and
Sydney's
the northern
beautiful.
beaches are pretty good too.
And the Nepean River's beautiful. There's so many beautiful suburbs in the west that have, a lot of green space.
We went from them.
Yeah, you were from like Greenacre.
Canley Vale.
Okay. Well, that's a good place to buy heroin.
Absolutely. Every place.
If you want to buy smack off the 5T gang, that's the place.
Every place has its virtues, I guess.
If you want to go to a public toilet cubicle that's got an ultraviolet blue light in it, Canley Vale's the suburb for you.
Now, this is my favourite story, and this is the stupidest story in the world today, but I thought it was frankly hilarious. A man has been accused of posing as a mannequin in a Warsaw shop window to steal jewellery after closing time. What's better is there are pictures of this bloke online. You need to see it.
Did he pull it off?
Yes, he did. 22-year-old was pictured standing still, holding a handbag in a window of the store. Police said the accused went hunting in various departments after closing then, before settling on a jewellery stand. So once they closed the shops, thinking he was just a mannequin in the window, he got about stealing stuff. Now, he's a repeat offender because he also was accused of stealing items from a second mall. The gig that time, he went and ate at a restaurant until closing time and stayed there as the last patron. And as they left, he allowed himself into the mall.
He went on a free feed.
He went on a free feed, exactly.
This was
right.
like sort of succulent Chinese meal sort of territory.
Sort of is. He faces up to 10 years in prison. So
Democracy manifest.
Take a dip view of this. But you need to see if you do one Google today, but look at this bloke with a woman's hand. It looks like a woman's handbag to me, standing there for hours in this shop window until they closed all the shops.
That's sensational.
It's so brilliantly stupid. There's a plot. All right, let's check traffic and we'll come back with some more of your Meat Tray Friday entries in just a moment. Are you tired of back pain? Try Keezer, KIESER.com.au.
Thanks, Will. The roads are looking really good for Friday. Always a nice way to head into the weekend. The Port of Expressway going well at Port Adelaide. Tapley's Hill Road flowing well, and the freeway running like a well-oiled clock this morning, which is excellent. A little bit slow at the moment, Tapley's Hill Road at Glenelg North, and we've got cameras to look out for this morning. Adelphi Terrace, Glenelg North, and Batunga Road at Meadows. Bunnings has your everyday paint essentials to help freshen up your home this weekend. Shop great value on a wide range of interior paint, rollers and accessories online or at your local Bunnings. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Matthew Pantelis.
Where are Yes posters? Still up. I've heard Port Road. Where else? Yes 23. I know you must be devastated by the fact it was 65-35 here in SA on the weekend, but you've still got to go take down your posters.
Weekday mornings from 9.
Sue reckons, yep, posters still up all around Christie's. Predominantly the ones everywhere are Yes.
On 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years we, the Lynn Andrews team, have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easier for investors and tenants. Everyone is treated with empathy and respect. It's the way we do business. It's the Lynn Andrews way. For residential and commercial property management, we're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com
When it comes to blinds and curtains, always start with the 3 Bs. Bob Burns Blinds. They've been manufacturing blinds in Adelaide for over 60 years using the very best materials. With a keen eye for detail, innovation and style, from interior and exterior blinds to stunning shutters and curtains, including motorisation and security products, always start with the 3 Bs. Bob Burns Blinds. Visit the new showroom at 1239 South Road, St Mary's, or jump online at bobburnsblinds.com.au.
Now, organising a memorial for a treasured and beloved family member can seem like a lot, but not so if you speak with Tim from Adelaide Memorials. For over 40 years, Adelaide Memorials have kept the memory and spirit alive for thousands of South Australian families with beautifully designed headstones and plaques.
Tim will sit with you to show you all the wonderful ways to memorialise the life of your loved one. There's no set and forget, there's no rush, just empathy and genuine attention to detail.
Tim also has a background in architecture, and the headstones and plaques he designs are often customised to reflect an individual's life, whether it be to include the lyrics to a favourite song or a headstone carved into the shape of a guitar.
And currently there's room on their team for an experienced craftsperson with a trade background, so if you're interested in joining this small, passionate team, get in touch with Tim. Adelaide Memorials, for extra personal service, visit adelaidememorials.com.au.
It's easy to get behind the wheel of a new Mawson Lakes Volkswagen right now. In fact, it's ridiculously easy. All you need to do is head to the showroom on Salisbury Highway, check out the range of new and demo Volkswagens on sale now, and then pick your favourite. How easy is that? All stock is ready for immediate delivery, with easy finance options available. And remember our next day servicing. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
22 minutes after 7, Timmy G in just a moment. This is Port Adelaide Corner because our Alberton correspondent Dave Lloyd is also on the line. Dave, good morning to you, and most importantly, happy birthday to you, Dave.
And obviously to Rosie, the first one. Congratulations, and I hope she has a good day. Thank you, boys.
Is it a significant birthday for you, Dave?
No, not really, mate. No, a couple of years away from a big one. So, yeah, a little way off 50, but won't be. It'll be here before I know it, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, you're plenty of catching up to do with me, mate. Did you have any special birthday wishes, mate? And have you recovered from the terrible events of September yet?
Don't talk about the war years, and no, nothing special, mate. Trying a bit like Will, you try and avoid too much fanfare, I think, and get through it. So when the phone just rang, then I was like, "What's this all about?" Thank you, boys. Hope you have, and hope Rosie has a great day tomorrow.
Good on you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. Really appreciate it, mate. Lovely.
I bet you two shy, retiring types don't like having a fuss made of you.
Oh, yeah, is that rare?
I think most people like a party, don't they?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm a bit of a weirdo.
All right. I wasn't suggesting that. Well, I don't know, maybe I was.
No, you wouldn't be the first. You wouldn't be the first. Now, what do we do here? Oh, that's right, Timmy G.
Speaking about report cards with distinctions, here's Geneva.
Tim Geneva on 5AA Breakfast.
Timmy G!
Timmy G! $17 schnitty Monday to Wednesday at the Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and Lighthouse Wharf. You just know it's a Barrow hotel. Timmy, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen. I know Dave from Alberton, and when he does have that milestone birthday, I'm not going, because if I go to that, I won't make my 60th.
He's a cracking bloke. We've caught up with him. He's a lovely guy. Quite a few 5AA dinners.
Yeah. It's a shame there's just a number of you Port people that are actually quite pleasant human beings. I don't know, you got to...
It really does put people like you off, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. It makes the whole football thing difficult. So every time we meet a footballer, it's like Charlie or Ratio or Ollie.
Daryl Wakeland. We're catching up with Wakes next week in the Barossa. He's a cracking bloke.
Yeah. Oh, and doesn't he fit the Port Adelaide mould? Tall, good-looking, handsome, intelligent pharmacist, got degrees. What is going on? He's such a disappointment to us.
Now, Tim, pharmacy is a good natural segue to discussing the Melbourne Football Club. What's going on there?
Oh, dear, oh, dear. The sad thing about this, and we've had the Clayton Oliver issues. We've got now Joel Smith testing positive through the urine test. I actually don't. I always say that sometimes the young men in football are a bit of a reflection on what's happening in society, and it is a major concern that I just don't think that Joel Smith is Pat Malone. Put it that way.
Yeah.
And that's the concerning thing about this. I think if you isolate this case, I was talking to Caroline Wilson last night. My greatest concern, which nobody seemed to be talking about, was how do you have a urine test for performance-enhancing whatevers and get the results 7 weeks later? That was just staggering for me, because I'm going, no. And they said, well, it takes time. And I said, no. I said, in 1988, Ben Johnson did a 2.7 second 100-metre sprint at the Seoul Olympics, and everyone went, whoa, what's going on there? He went off, had his urine test, a massive puff of green smoke came out, and they said, well, there's something going wrong here. Tested him, and I'll be buggered, he was,
how about that?
It was positive, incredible. But they got that result back 24 hours.
Yeah.
Now, we cannot be serious about doing urine tests on anybody and saying, 7 weeks later we'll give you the results. That is just a sham, and I don't know why it took that long, but I'm just going to keep pushing the question until somebody answers it.
Don't you think the other part of this, Tim, that suggests a broader cultural problem, and I'm certainly not saying that there's, a good time and a place to take cocaine, but he did this on the cusp of the finals season. It was after round 23. I suppose they'd argue he might have thought, we had the bye, we had the week off.
I think he did it during a game week, didn't he? Didn't he do it before a Hawthorn game?
No, I thought he did it in the lead up to the finals.
Okay.
So they made the
round
finals.
23 was round 23.
Yeah, so it was after round 23. They're going into a finals campaign, and he's out taking drugs. The other thing too, I would doubt you'd. I very much doubt you'd take drugs on your own. It'd be part of a social thing that he's involved in, which begs the question, was he doing it with other people? And maybe they were just lucky that they weren't caught.
No, it was on the match day of Melbourne Hawthorn.
Yeah.
After the game.
Yeah. But that means he took it before the game, unless he took it during the game.
You'd argue
after that night. Wasn't it that night?
No, but he got tested at the game.
Game, yeah.
Oh, so he's had it before. So he's had it the night before as well?
Yeah, or the week before, or whatever. Yeah.
So it's still in his system some way.
I thought it was after the game. I thought he got caught after. Wow. Yeah, there's something going on there.
Yeah, so you'd say, well, there's two reasons for that. You're either partying, like you say, in before a game or very close to a game, or you actually think you need it to play well, and that's probably leans itself more towards an addiction, and that's an even bigger concern. So I really like him as a footballer. His dad was a terrific footballer, and I really like him as a footballer. So you just go, I just hope it's not because he thought he was going to play better with it, and that's a major concern for him as an individual. But it's an issue. There's no doubt that clubs have to be all over, because it's just unfortunately, it is a reflection of what's happening in society, and that's a real issue for them. And the D's have had quite a few issues still hanging over their heads. They've still got their ex-president, suing several board members for him being run out of town because he wanted hair testing introduced into the club for senior staff, including coaches. So he's still upset. He's lawyered up, and so are they. So
well, this will just embolden him even more too, won't it?
Yeah, correct. That it starts to look like, well, maybe he was onto something, So
yeah, absolutely.
It's an issue, but don't think that this is going to be exclusive to the Melbourne Footy Club. That's the issue. So, and the trade boys, before we go, just two different approaches. I felt we spoke to both Chris Davies, the head of football at Port Adelaide. We spoke to the list manager Justin Reid at the Adelaide Crows, and Crows have approached it in a way that they want to get into that draft as high as possible, and they're still, what we got out of the interview was still probably going to try and trade up again to get higher. So that's an interesting one to see what they can get. And then Port have gone purely, we need to trade in, because we're going to ignore this draft and we're going to go and get 2 defenders and 2 ruckmen, and they've done exactly that. So 2 totally different approaches. We'll see what happens in the season 24.
Absolutely. Good on you, Timmy. Have a good weekend.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Speaking about report cards with distinctions, here's Ginnivan.
Tim Ginnivan on 5AA Breakfast.
$17 shindig Monday to Wednesday at the Birkin Tavern, Excelsior and Lighthouse Wharf. You just know it's a Barrow hotel. Stick around for after 5AA News. We'll talk about some of the wonderful things going on in Adelaide this weekend. The Bay to Birdwood and the Playford International Tennis Comp all ahead.
Honey?
Yeah?
I think it's time we started sleeping with other people.
Oh, you mean like Wendy and Dave?
Yes!
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen their Austrac camper?
Yeah, how good is the bed setup?
Did you know it's got an indoor and an outdoor?
Austrac campers!
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Becoming cloudy and 27. With the 7:30 news, I'm Kendall Brettig.
Keep your body in shape with Physio Extra clinical Pilates and group exercise classes. PhysioExtra.com.
Police are investigating a suspicious grass fire at Eaton Hills late last night. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says it broke out in the Shepherds Hill Recreation Park just after 11.
Fire crews managed to bring the fire under control really quickly, and there was no damage to any surrounding properties. But we did have to evacuate some residents from nearby Springwood Close just for their safety while crews worked at the scene.
Witnesses reported seeing fireworks being set off prior to the fire starting. The UN humanitarian agency says people in Gaza are competing for a dwindling supply of water and food. Limited aid will be allowed into Gaza through the Rafah border crossing with Egypt for a short period of time, tomorrow our time. US State Department spokesman Matthew Millers acknowledged Israel's concerns about the arrangement but insists it must go ahead.
They're worried that assistance that goes in will be diverted to Hamas. We are working out an agreement to ensure that any deliveries can be handled appropriately. But what we have said is quite clear. We expect humanitarian assistance to be able to get in. We think it's important that the innocent civilians in Gaza who did not start this conflict have access to food and water.
While a third repatriation flight carrying Australians and their families who fled Israel has touched down in Sydney this morning, and the US State Department's issued a worldwide travel alert. It's warning about the risk of terror attacks, protests or violent actions against US citizens. Family and friends will gather in Red Hill today to farewell a father and son. Ben and Charlie Mumford were killed when their Cessna came down almost a fortnight ago. The 24 and 50-year-old were part of a close-knit farming community. Their funeral service will be held at the local football oval this afternoon. Alcohol bottles could soon be plastered with health warnings similar to those on cigarette packs. National health groups are urging the federal government to make alcohol producers print labels warning of the risk of liver disease, cancer and other health concerns. The Sydney Opera House is opening its doors to visitors to mark its 50th birthday. More from Sarah Stewart.
It's Australia's most iconic building, and this weekend the Sydney Opera House is throwing open the doors to celebrate its 50th birthday. Across the weekend, the house is offering free tours. 35,000 people have pre-booked, but visitors are allowed to turn up and join in. There will be long lines, but there's also pop-up entertainment and food stalls. Each night there is also a free laser show on the sails. It will begin at 8 p.m. across the weekend. There is audio too on speakers at the front and a QR code if you're watching from the other side of the harbour. The Opera House opened in October 1973. It was supposed to take 4 years and cost $7 million. It cost $102 million and took 14 years, but is now worth a lot more and one of the most recognised buildings in the world.
A leading voice in sports medicine is slamming the AFL's illicit drugs policy, with 2 players facing sanctions. Melbourne's Joel Smith tested positive to cocaine in a game day test in August. That's now subject to a Sports Integrity Australia investigation. While Carlton recruit former Gold Coast son Elijah Hollins will face court this month after being charged with possession of an illicit substance. Dr Peter Larkins telling Wide World of Sports AFL players should know better.
They're the most educated group of athletes I know, professional athletes. They are told about the dangers of drugs. They're warned about that they will be tested. So to sort of thumb your nose at the system and go down that track, to me, there has to be a stronger deterrent some way, and I guess that is removing them from the game in a more lengthy time.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
There's plenty of stock ready for immediate delivery on Mitsubishi Triton from Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Australia's World Cup hopes will again go on the line tonight when they take on Pakistan in a must-win match our time tonight. Last night, India underlined its favouritism tag with a comfortable 7-wicket win against Bangladesh, former skipper Virat Kohli with a brilliant unbeaten century. Meantime, the Redbacks will be in One-Day Cup action today when they host New South Wales at Adelaide Oval. Well, the Adelaide 36ers remain cemented to the bottom of the ladder after a 102 to 85 point loss. That was against the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix at home. Former sixer Mitch Creek had a game-high 23 points and says it was a great result for the team.
Healthy bodies makes a big difference, and we've got to be a little more disciplined in some areas, just knowing players' tendencies and traits and where they want to get to. But I think we're moving in the right direction, you're right. You know, we had it against Perth, we had it against Tassie, now we had it tonight, and I think, you know, to only give up 85 on the road after 28 in the first quarter is a really good sign for us.
Audio thanks to Fox. The Sixers will host the Perth Wildcats in another game tomorrow night. Well, Supercars drivers are predicting less mayhem in next week's Gold Coast 500. After a huge pile-up, 3 tyre bundles at the beach chicane have been replaced by electronic curb-hopping sensors. Triple Eight's Brock Feeney says it's a smart move.
I think it's what all drivers wanted, to be honest. I think it does quite a lot of damage to the cars, and you actually sort of have to hit them to go fast. So I think it's a good thing. We're going to find out. We'll see what the sensors are like. But look, it's probably going to be less carnage.
And that is the 5AA Sport.
Now to the traffic.
Louver House, the leaders in turning your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof.
Good morning. Roads are working well for a Friday. No hassles getting where you're going, which is excellent. Main North Road at Enfield flowing well. Richmond Road looking good. And the freeway running like a well-oiled clock this morning, which is excellent. It is a little bit slow at the moment around Fullerton for those works just near the Arkabar. And look out for a camera today, Tears Road at Woodside. Welcome in the weekend with a pork one-pan wonder tonight. Like the deliciously simple cheesy Mexican bake. Yum. Find the recipe at pork.com.au. I got some pork on your fork. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Beaumont's new showroom is now open at Seaford Meadows with 25% off all tiles this Saturday only.
Becoming cloudy, a high of 27. A shower or two tomorrow, down to 18. Partly cloudy Sunday, 19. And mostly sunny for Monday, 24. At the moment, 23. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Reimagine your home, elevate your life at 88 O'Connell Luxury Apartments. There's 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments now selling from $1.2 million. 88 O'Connell is redefining residential luxury with amenities never seen before in Adelaide. From a New York-inspired sky deck, Mercato fresh produce market, wine bar, integrated wellness studios, sauna, pools and allied healthcare. To learn more, visit our display suite or inquire at 88o'connell.com.
City Discount Tires.
Get saving this month at City Discount Tires. Grab 3 Falcon Zig ZE 310R passenger car tires and get the 4th tyre absolutely free. Experience top-notch performance with exceptional grip on both wet and dry surfaces. Steer your way to citydiscounttires.com.au for even more great deals. City Discount Tires. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires.
Now get ready for an unmissable event for car lovers, stacked with family-friendly entertainment. The Northern Muscle Car Club's Charity Family Fun Day, raising money for Heart Kids SA.
You'll find rows of the most incredible classic muscle and prestige cars. Admire their sleek designs, roaring engines and classic nostalgia. Give your kids the thrill of sitting behind the wheel, or they can enjoy everything from face painting to bouncy castles.
Sounds awesome for you Monaro and Charger lovers out there. Admission is just $5 for adults. Kids under 15 get in for free. Plus, it's all for Heart Kids SA, so you're making a difference.
The Northern Muscle Car Club's Charity Family Fun Day at Virginia Oval on October 29th from 11 a.m. Proudly brought to you by Bendigo Bank, Community Bank Virginia and District and Elizabeth.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Breakfast on 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
Yes, bit of dead or alive to get you up and about on a Friday.
21 to 8, John Blake before 8 o'clock. Song to wrap the week, looking forward to that. Between now and then, a bit of a look forward to some of the wonderful things that are happening in Adelaide on the weekend, starting with the Bait of Birdwood. Michael Neal is the chair. Morning to you, Michael.
Good morning, and thanks for having me on.
No, great to have you, Michael, and thanks for joining us. It's a beloved part of the annual calendar here in SA, the old Bay to Burwood. I always love going down to Greenhill Road and seeing all the cars going past. It's terrific.
But it's one of the best days of my year, absolutely, and I absolutely get it. If you've ever done it, it's a great event. A moment ago, you're talking about just getting the kids out. Oh, what a fantastic opportunity to just bring them down to Greenhill Road, as you said, or Anzac Highway. It's an early start, so you can go out, you can see all the vehicles going up the road, and then if you want to, you can jump in the car and head up to Birdwood and be part of the Finish Festival up there. It's a really fantastic day out.
Do you know off the top of your head, Michael, what's the oldest car that takes part in the Bay to Birdwood?
Oh, it depends. This year I know we've got two vehicles from 1904. And wow. I will be driving my Willys Overland 1923. So this will be the first year that's actually 100 years old as I drive a 100-year-old car up through the hills.
When a part goes ping, what do you do? Because I can imagine you can't exactly order one from the dealer.
No, that's right. And I think you've actually struck a really important point here. This is a bit of a celebration of all of the effort that people go to restoring and maintaining and keeping those vehicles on the road. It's so wonderful to actually see them being used and driven on the road rather than just put in a glass case and left in a museum.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
It's a fantastic thing.
We got a Ruber on Wednesday through, wondering whether you guys are getting too popular. Combining the classic and vintage cars this year, because... and meaning that interstate, there's not going to be many or any interstate cars this year because you've reached the cap. Is that accurate?
There's a few inaccuracies there. I did hear that rumour. I think the rumour was that we have a cap of 8,000. I would love 8,000 entries. That would be a fantastic result. And I tell you, if we could get 8,000 vehicles, we would be sitting there scratching our heads thinking, how can we do this? Because this is so good. But actually, 1,500 vehicles, over 1,500 vehicles we've got in the event this year. And usually we get between 10 and 15, sometimes a little bit more % out of entries from interstate. I think post-COVID, we're just a fraction under 10%, but that's still basically, count 10 vehicles and then the next one's from interstate. So it is a really big attraction of vehicles from interstate. And when they come here, they don't come here for one day. They come for between 4 and 10 days in general, and they do all sorts of other things. There's sort of side events that they do. So I think it is a really important event for South Australia. It attracts vehicles from and mainly people from interstate, and for us South Australians, I think it's something we can be and should be really proud of.
Absolutely, I think we all are. Good on you, Michael. Michael Neal there, the chair of the Bay to Birdwood.
Great event. So too is the next subject we want to talk about. Dylan Hicks is the tournament director of the Playford International, the tennis tournament that starts this Sunday, running for a week. Dylan, good morning to you.
Morning, and thanks for having me.
Gee whiz, it feels, can't believe it's Australian tennis season already. Tell us, who's competing this year?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy how quick it comes around. But very exciting times for us out at Playford Tennis Centre. From the 22nd to the 29th, we've got some really amazing players coming out, including our hometown hero, Thanasi Kokonakis. I'm really excited to be having him play back in his own backyard, especially off some great success this year and some good success at the Adelaide International. We've also got Rinky Hijikata from New South Wales.
Reigning champ.
Reigning champ, so he wants to return, which is amazing. And then also he went on to have some good success at the Grand Slam level post his win last year. And then we've also got our local Lee too, who's been on the tour after some success at some tournaments, and he was previously one of our best state league players for South Australia in the band.
I was looking at the history of this tournament this morning, Dylan. I can't believe it's only been around since 2018. But the Playford International to me feels like it's been part of the tennis lexicon here in South Australia for much, much longer than that.
Yeah, it does feel that way. Especially, I guess we had the Playford event holding for a couple of years there, and then we had the hiatus with COVID on and that, where we didn't have it for a couple of years. But we've got it back on the calendar, and I feel like people know of Playford when it comes around, just because the level of players we seem to get there are of good standard, and they seem to make a mark and lasting memory on people, which is great. And we've got a lot of returning players, which hopefully they're enjoying themselves when they're coming out to Playford and playing in this event.
Fantastic. And if people want to get more information, Dylan, what should they do?
So they can go to the Tennis SA or Tennis Australia website to check it out. But for anyone in the community that wants to come out to the event, it's running from the 22nd to the 29th. It's at Playford Tennis Centre on Spruance Road, Elizabeth East, and it's free entry for everyone. So there's no cost to come down and see these stars that play on the World Tour. Anyone can come from the community, come down and watch some top-level tennis.
That's great. That's
fantastic.
Great.
It's a great event, and congratulations to you. I'm sure next week will be a corker as well. Dylan Hicks, the tournament director of the Playford International.
Speaking of tennis, Henry Young's dream run in Mallorca has sadly come to an end.
Oh, no.
He came up against a sprightly, fast-running 92-year-old from the UK. Gordon Oates. How can you do this?
Oh, not Oatesy.
Yeah, Oatesy. Never liked Oatesy.
Never
liked
he's the Ian Botham of the Masters.
He is. Beefy.
Tour.
That's right.
Beefy.
Apparently he's a good runner. He was running around the court. And he's 9 years, Henry's junior. So I think when you're in your 90s, a 9-year gap is pretty significant. So this young whippersnapper, Gordon Oates, he beat Henry comprehensively. Henry went down fighting, though. It was 6-love, 6-2. Bit of a comeback there in the second set. But having flown from Adelaide to Mallorca only a few days ago, then playing 2 sets on day one, where Henry won 6-love, 6-2. Then he had to back up the next day. Given that he turned 100 years old last month, he can hold his head high, and he's in the doubles as well. So we'll see how that goes. But having an absolutely fantastic time there in Spain with his son Mike and the rest of the family and grandkids and all of that. What a brilliant thing to be doing.
Unbelievable.
When you've just entered your second century on Earth.
It gives you sort of perspective. You think, in days when you think, I can't be bothered doing that, or I'm feeling a bit achy, or I'm not going to bother doing exercise. You think, then Henry Young can jump off a plane and play 2 sets.
Yeah,
it's hard to find an excuse.
I was talking to him at his birthday, and he said, I hate it when I hear people say, I had to stop playing tennis because it was hurting my arm. I was getting a bit of tennis elbow. He'd say, no, that's not a reason to stop. He said, if you just keep doing things, you can keep doing things. Well, what a great way of looking at life.
It absolutely is. 12 to 8. We're going to get to some of your Dutton's texts in just a moment. A few Meat Tray Friday entries as well. Trying to win that excellent meat tray thanks to Liam Jonah and the team at my local butcher, Chanella. Chanella 62 Prospect Road at Prospect. Actually ordered a big Chanella's fruit platter for the party tomorrow.
Oh, sensible.
Looking forward to that turning up. We'll get to those in a moment. Let's check traffic first, thanks to Keezer. Tired of back pain? Time to try Keezer, KIESER.com.au.
Thanks, Will. It's a hassle-free Friday on the roads if you're heading to work, which is great. Main North Road at Enfield flowing well. Tapley's Hill Road at Glenelg North looking okay too. And we're accident or breakdown free on the freeway from Hahndorf through to Glen Osmond, which is excellent. Do have works to look out for this morning at Woodville. Lane out of action there, Woodville Road near Kemp Street, and a camera Hawthorne Road at Echunga. The biggest road project our state has ever undertaken, the T2D project, will change the way South Australians live, move and connect. Learn more at t2d.sa.gov.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Dreaming of a new car? Make it happen at Solitaire Volkswagen. As South Australia's largest Volkswagen dealership, we have plenty of stock available now for immediate delivery with unbeatable deals on new and demonstrator vehicles. Now is the time to visit Solitaire Volkswagen at Hawthorne and Medindi, DL 65541.
So, you want to do your bit for the planet? Drink Flurio Milk Company milk. Now available in a glass bottle, no plastic, no waste. Flurio Milk Company have partnered with the Udder Way to bring you milk in a glass bottle. Look for milk refill stations in your supermarket, purchase your own glass bottle, fill it, take it home, drink it and bring it back to use again. No plastic, no waste. Visit fluriomilkco.com.au for locations.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. For fixed price services, call Precise.
For a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Keep it clean and running like a dream with F10 fuel treatment. Whether it's cars, trucks or earth-moving machinery, boats or bikes, petrol or diesel, no matter what you drive, F10 makes engines run smoother and more efficiently, cleans and protects injectors and pumps and extends the life of your engine. F10 removes water, wax, varnishes and diesel bug contamination. F10 fuel treatment. Available at Autobahn, Autopro, Napa Parts, Truckline and Veals.
Energy providers are still emptying your wallet, but the good news is that now it's cheaper to generate your own electricity using solar and batteries. NRG Solar's expertise can guide you to owning your energy sooner. As a trusted retailer, they provide you with top-tier solar battery technology, complete with a 10-year warranty, blackout protection, and user-friendly apps for ultimate control. Fight back with NRG Solar and take charge of your electricity. Visit nrgsolar.com.au today.
You've decided to build? It's exciting stuff. When you've found land, it's a good idea to get advice on what you can build on your new parcel of paradise. Get Steve from Beechwood Homes to take a look. There's no obligation, and you'll get a great understanding of what's possible. Sloping block, flat block, weird shaped block, or block on a cliff. Speak with Steve from Beechwood Homes for all the possibilities. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
8 to 8, John Blake in a moment. Sumitra Friday calls first on birthday party experiences for kids, good, bad or otherwise. Rosie, good morning.
Oh, and happy birthday to little Rosie.
Thank you, Rosie.
From one Rosie to another.
But just to set the scene, my daughter's 37 now, so this is back in the late 80s, and she turned 1, and her little party friends were just about to arrive, had fairy bread and everything. But I left it to the last minute to put her little white embroidered party dress on. So she's lying there on the change table looking at me and smiling. And then her face changed to a look of horror because I was having trouble pushing the I Am One badge onto her dress, but I was actually pinning it through her skin and actually did it up.
Oh my God!
No.
Oh my God!
When I saw a veritable river of bright red blood oozing through her.
Oh, Rosie. You must have been beside yourself.
And I'm thinking, oh no! And you could just see her face change. She just went white. I thought, I can't believe I even did it up. And she's just lying there.
Oh, Rosie.
Taking it off mustn't have been fun.
Sorry?
Taking it off mustn't have been fun.
No.
Oh.
It sort of didn't start off well, but I was so excited and I thought, oh, look, she's just looking lovingly, and then all of a sudden the eyes crossed.
My God. Oh, crikey. That is a nightmare story, Rosie. Thank you. And you know what? Great Meat Tray Friday story.
Yes.
Very strong contender. Thank you. Let's go to Geraldine. Good morning to you, Geraldine.
Hi, both. I always made my mum's birthday cake, and for her 80th birthday, I made another one and took it over there, and we had about 30 relatives coming from interstate for the party. And we had lunch, and after lunch, my sister cleared some of the dining room table and put this box on the table, and it was a mud cake. Now imagine 3 A4 size pieces of paper next to each other, and it had 80 candles on it, and of course everybody went over and saw how wonderful this lovely cake was. They lit the candles, Mum blew out the candles, and they all had cake till it was all gone. And here's my homemade cake sitting on the cupboard. I ended up taking it home. I was so upset.
Oh. Smited. That's terrible, Geraldine.
Yeah, that's no good at all. Thank you, Geraldine. Appreciate the call.
Got all that
Thank you
trouble
for
when that
sharing us the
happens.
story. Yeah, that's no good.
Heartbreaking.
8223 You can shoot us a text on the Duttons text line. 3 dealerships and 10 franchises in the Adelaide Hills and Murray Bridge. Duttons, easy to do business with. Time for John Blake. Thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, Interstate Freight, Distribution, Warehousing and Local Adelaide Couriers. Call Aussie Fast 13 13 64.
Yes, good morning. Well, this week the Lord Mayor of Adelaide, Jane Lomax-Smith, decided to fly the Aboriginal flag at half-mast without consulting anybody. She just did it because she felt bad that the majority of Australian people, including a lot of Aboriginal people, didn't vote the same way she did. That's a good reason, isn't it?
How they can justify spit in your eye and lay the blame, it's just a total lie. Why would Jane Lomax ignore the path and decide the way to treat the Aboriginal flag? Aboriginal flag. At half-mast, the council's getting attacked. Aboriginals new council hasn't a clue. It's the wrong thing to do. Whoa. Aboriginal flag. At half-mast, and now they're copping the flag. Aboriginals new council hasn't a clue. It's the wrong thing to do. Whoa.
Yes, and also this week Paul McCartney was in town and played a fantastic concert at the Entertainment Centre. I was there. It was magnificent, and in fact I think he sings better now than he did in 1993. It's pretty amazing when you think he's only 3 years younger than KG. One thing I did notice, though, was that the Entertainment Centre, the poor old thing, is looking tired and world-weary. We were cramped, uncomfortable. It was impossible to move around. It's over. We really need a new one.
Johnny Bannon built an entertainment place. Many musos now could come and sing. 30 years later now should be replaced. The seating's awful and it's hard to get a drink. Oh bloody, oh blada, it's not up to par. Build a new one, bring it on. Oh bloody, oh blada, it's been good so far, but can't wait till we see it gone. Stephen Marshall promised us a brand new place, but Malley said no way and won the fight. Now the entertainment centre's past its date, and maybe Stephen Marshall after all was right. Oh bloody, oh blada, entertainment centre, can't wait until we see it gone. Oh bloody, oh blada, entertainment centre, can't wait until we see it gone. And now the incense done, so pull the damn thing down.
Oh. I wonder what other people's reviews of the Entertainment Centre, if you hadn't been there in a while. Is it time for a new one? Let us know what you thought. John Blake certainly thinks so. Maybe if Stephen Marshall's campaign was charged with John Blake's music, it might have been slightly more successful.
Well, given the extent to which Labor smashed it up, I don't think there's any way it could happen under a Malinowskis government.
No.
It could only happen when he's gone.
They would have to design an entertainment centre that explicitly could not be used for the purposes of playing basketball.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I just pinched my arm really badly on this damn chair. To many a true word said in jest, Blakey's first item about the Lord Mayor, Jane Lomax-Smith, she potentially is in a little bit of strife over this. Because the local government minister, Jeff Brock, and normally you'd think that a Labor government would give her, as a former Labor minister, a little bit of political cover. He pretty much hung her out to dry yesterday in question time when he was asked, did she have the authority as Lord Mayor to do this? And he basically said, no, she did not. And that mayors are not allowed to make any decisions on the day-to-day running of the council without the support of the council itself. So you need to have a council meeting to decide, as opposed to just going off on some unilateral solo spree and making a decision about the flag.
You go to the medical room. We're going to go to news, and we'll be back with Breaking in 8 in just a moment.
Since 1982, our passionate teams at First National Real Estate have worked 10,400 days and around 582 million hours across Australia with one common goal: to always put you first. And we'll be here in Adelaide to help you on your journey to your happy place. Be it a tree change, a sea change, upsize, downsize, or finding that investment gem. First National Real Estate. We put you first. firstnational.com.au.
Before it's with the chef, before it's on your plate, before it's on your lips, that sensational cut of beef, lamb, pork or poultry was in the hands of a great butcher. My Butcher, feeding 250,000 South Australians every week. The pleasure's all theirs, and luckily, they're all ours. 100% locally owned and operated since 1999. My Butcher, meat with care.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Becoming cloudy and 27 with the 8 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Hydrotherapy at Physio Extra Marion has individual sessions and classes claimable on private health and NDIS.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is urging Western countries to stand by him as conflict intensifies in the Middle East. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is the second global leader to pledge solidarity with Israel during a trip to Tel Aviv. He's thanked Mr Netanyahu for agreeing to allow humanitarian aid into Gaza, which has been blockaded since the war began. Mr Netanyahu says the world should support Israel.
The people here are united. They're prepared to take the necessary action. I've never seen the people of Israel as united, more united than they are now. But we need that unity across the board and continuous support as we prosecute and win this just war.
And more Australians who escaped the conflict are reuniting with their families at Sydney Airport. 44 passengers were evacuated from Tel Aviv. Others on board had chosen to flee Lebanon after DFAT warned travellers against flying there. They've been greeted by loved ones, most happy to be home.
To be here now is easier. There's no stress whatsoever here.
It's overwhelming. It's just like unexpected. It's emotional. We're worried about the whole world, not just Israel.
I'm very happy I'm here. Hard decision, but we decided to do it.
The best feeling ever.
And the US is issuing a worldwide caution on travel amid rising global tensions and the increased threat of terrorist attacks. The Secretary of State is ordering security reviews of all US embassies. Some Eden Hills residents had to be evacuated last night after a deliberately lit grass fire. It broke out around 11:20 in the Shepherd's Hill Recreation Park. People in nearby Springwood Close were told to get out while firefighters brought the blaze under control. Witnesses reported seeing fireworks in the area prior to the fire starting. Crime scene investigators will attend the scene this morning. A father and son killed in a light plane crash in the mid-north will be farewelled today. More from Mel Usher.
50-year-old Ben Mumford and 24-year-old Charlie were killed earlier this month when their Cessna came down at Red Hill. Charlie died at the scene. His father passed away later in hospital. It's believed their plane struck power lines before coming down on Sunday, October 8. Their funeral service will be held in its entirety at the Red Hill Football Oval this afternoon. In lieu of flowers, the family is asking for donations to the Crystal Brook Hospital. The double tragedy has rocked the farming community, who've pledged to band together to help the Mumford family with the upcoming harvest season.
National health bodies, including the AMA, want alcohol producers to print warning labels on beer and wine similar to those on cigarette packets. The federal government seeking advice on options for raising consumer awareness about the health implications of alcohol consumption. AMA President Professor Steve Robson says the push for labelling is timely.
We know that in Australia, every 3 minutes an Australian's admitted to hospital with a alcohol-related health problem. We know it's affecting women, and we know now that Australians want these labels. That's what the polling's telling us.
More Australians are moving back in with their parents as the housing crisis deepens. Research from Finder shows 1 in 10 respondents have either moved home or had an adult child return home in the past year. Rising rents and cost of living pressures are being cited as the reason for the switch. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
There's plenty of stock ready for immediate delivery on Mitsubishi Triton from Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Let's start with cricket. Pat Cummins says he won't be tempted to take the new ball in Australia's crucial World Cup clash against Pakistan tonight. The Aussies have conceded consecutive 100-run opening stands in the past 2 World Cup matches, but the skipper says he hasn't been tempted to change it up.
Kind of before the tournament, you bounce around plenty of different ideas, but at the moment, we look back at the last couple of games and, haven't got the wickets, but there's probably been 3 chances in each first 10 overs that we just haven't got, or, LBW missed by millimetres or player misses. So we've been really happy with, the guys up front.
Last night, India made it 4 from 4 with an impressive 7-wicket win against Bangladesh. The WBBL season got underway last night with the Melbourne Stars recording a thrilling 2-run win against the Sydney Sixers. The Adelaide Strikers begin their season tomorrow night against the Stars at Karen Rolton Oval. And the men's SA side will host New South Wales in a one-dayer at Adelaide Oval today. To basketball, the Adelaide 36ers will turn their attention to tomorrow night's home clash against the Perth Wildcats. That's after suffering a 17-point loss against the South East Melbourne Phoenix last night. To soccer, Adelaide United will kick off the A-League season this evening with a big game against the reigning champions, the Central Coast Mariners. The women's side will take on the Mariners in a match beforehand. Australia's netball team has lost Game 3 of the Constellation Cup against New Zealand 56-53. The Aussies still lead the series though, 2-1. And in some tennis, Alex de Minaur has had a comfortable straight sets win against Argentina's Diego Schwartzman to move into the quarterfinals of the Japan Open, while fellow Aussie Alexei Poprin fought back from a set down to beat Chile's Christian Garin in 3 sets. And that's the FIVEAA Sport.
Now to the traffic.
Luther House, the leaders in turning your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof.
Should have a super run into work today. No great hassles. Accident or breakdown free on the majors. Southern Expressway flowing well. Northern Connector looking good. And the freeway running really well from Hundor through to Glen Osmond. A little sluggish at the moment. Brighton Road at Brighton. And look out for a camera today. Hawthorne Road at Mount Barker. You can get almost anything on Uber Eats, from grocery items, fresh fruit and veg, meat and produce and alcohol, to takeaway meals, all delivered within the hour. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEAA.
Beaumont's new showroom is now open at Seaford Meadows with 25% off all tiles this Saturday only.
Becoming cloudy and 27, a shower or two tomorrow down to 18, partly cloudy on Sunday 19 and mostly sunny for Monday 24, at the moment 22. More news as it happens on FIVEAA.
Keep it clean and running like a dream with F10 fuel treatment. Whether it's cars, trucks, earth-moving machinery, boats or bikes, petrol or diesel, no matter what you drive, F10 makes engines run smoother and more efficiently, cleans and protects injectors and pumps, and extends the life of your engine. F10 removes water, wax, varnishes and diesel bug contamination. F10 fuel treatment. Available at Atom, Bailey's Marine Fuels, Blackwoods, Burson's and Repco stores.
I was just doing my job. I didn't think I'd get injured.
The doctor said it was a routine procedure? Right.
The car came out of nowhere and it smashed right into us.
At DBH Lawyers, we're here to listen to your story. Our team of local South Australian lawyers will help you navigate the law and find the best way forward. We're with you. We're for you. We're DBH Lawyers. dbh.com.au.
FIVEAA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to FIVEAA on Facebook or YouTube.
Incredible story in the Tizer this morning. Front page about Pam Cook, her battle with a juvenile great white shark and recovery. The pictures tell as much of the story as she does. We've actually spoken to Pam Cook this morning, had a chat with her. She's not yet up for a long discussion around what took place, but she said she's recovering really well. And in fact, she's at the beach this morning. Not swimming.
She is
but she's at the beach with her friends. She's a remarkable
Pam,
woman.
if you're listening, you are an inspiration. What the old saying, you get off the horse, you get straight back on it again. What an indefatigable spirit she has. And you look at the close-up shot of her leg. That's, the famous photo of Rodney Fox standing side on after he was in the spearfishing comp down at the Dinga. But, I mean, Pam's not in that category, but she's on the spectrum. She's on that same. Well, that is one heck of a scar. That is an entire shark's jaw wrapped around her leg, going from side to side.
Her description of feeling a grab, and then seeing it attack from below is sort of everyone's nightmare.
And here I am, like a total ponce, complaining about this 1 centimetre wide pinch on my arm from jamming it between the chair and the studio desk. Should harden up. Pour myself a piping hot mug of harden up.
Hey, pain's pain.
Now, I need to tap into my inner Pam Cook, I think.
It is also the 50th birthday today of the Sydney Opera House. I wonder if we have any listeners who were in Sydney for the opening for any reason, or have memories of the Opera House opening on this day 50 years ago. So 1973, 20th of October, were you there? What were you doing?
Or have you just seen a show there? Have you got a concert?
Absolutely.
Were you in Sydney?
Have you been there?
Because I reckon a lot of people, when they go to Sydney for a holiday, last year when we went, we took the kids to see a play. It wasn't in the main theatre, obviously, but it was great. It was The Twits by Roald Dahl.
Oh, how cool.
Good play, good politically incorrect play.
Better to look at than to be in the Sydney Opera House, I think. Once you're in it, it's a building.
Oh, no, not the theatre bit. When you're actually in the theatre. I saw Lou Reed play there.
Yeah.
There was this thing called the Night of Noise. It was just insane. All these... You were told on arrival you have to wear earplugs because this is just going to be face-meltingly loud. And there were all these Japanese punk bands who were playing. They were just superb. It was crazy.
But I never thought being in there that if I didn't know where I was, would I know that this is one of the most iconic buildings on earth? Like, it looks pretty cool. But from outside, it's obvious.
Yeah.
That it's something it's meant to be looked at.
It's just weird, like the actual engineering of it. Like, you look at it and go, how does it even hold together?
It's beautiful. It really is. 11 after 8, it's going to be celebrated all this weekend. Right now, it's time for Breaking Note.
Well, this is a story which shows how regional communities and communities which also exist in safe political seats can be left high and dry by the political process and the city-centric nature of government. So the people of Murray Bridge, they've now spent more than 10 years trying to get funding support for a new basketball stadium. They've come up with a business case. They've come up with plans. About $500,000 has been spent on consultants so far to come up with the idea. And obviously, this is all because basketball is a huge sport in this rapidly growing town. The local basketball comp has got about 600 members, but they're currently playing in what is been described to me as a run-down, glorified chook shed that's more than 50 years old. I've got some documentation that identifies the problems. Firstly, there's no air conditioning, so games have to be cancelled when it gets to 36 degrees and above. There are loose nails coming out of the floorboards on these old courts. There are inadequate changing facilities, meaning that female referees as young as 13 have to get changed behind a small curtain that's available in the referee room. And the place also leaks. Water gets in. They've had equipment and uniforms damaged. So there are all sorts of reasons as to why this needs to be replaced. So a lot of work, as I said, has been done. And over the last 10 years, it got to the point where the council and the local Liberal member Tony Passon and also Adrian Pederick, they'd all got involved, and they had $4 million in federal and state funding lined up. What's happened is that post-COVID, the quote for building it has come back, and it's come in at $6.7 million. Now, the local council has been unable to raise further funding, so what it means is that now the $4 million that was promised is going to be lost. It means that $500,000 has been spent on consultants for no gain, and yet again, a grassroots sporting facility in a rapidly growing regional centre and a lower socio-economic area is not going to go ahead. Now, we can find $25 million for the Adelaide Crows for elite athletes, yet in this safe political seat, it looks like the people of Murray Bridge are going to be stiffed. I think that the state government should get involved and see if there's a way of saving this, because it's not fair that all of these kids and all of these families are going to miss out. Just warped priorities, isn't it? And I tell you what, if you live in a marginal seat, things pop up all the time, whether you need them or not. And normally on the eve of an election.
I think there's a heap of stories just waiting to be told that fit into this category, and they tell a story too about the wheels of government that move slowly, that maybe you can get away with in a low inflation environment. But if something gets approved and funded, but it takes another 6 months for it all to be ticked off through the various departments and local government and whatnot, at the moment, that means that the money you allocated then won't pay for the project now. Yeah. That's what's happened here, and I think that's what's happened in a lot of projects around Adelaide at the moment. Not just Adelaide, probably around the country.
But the cost of building, like in the space of 10 years, the cost of building a basketball court has gone from like $2 million to $6 million. It's crazy.
Well, it's the same story. It's the reason all of our builders are going bust. It's a lot of builders that have fixed price contracts that when...
You know, the real biggie, translate what we're talking about here to the Women's and Children's Hospital.
That's going to be unbelievable, that cost, when it's ultimately all told, I think.
But isn't it more the point, though, that you look an electorate in the eye and say, we're going to do this, and then politics gets in the way? Because like, the Labor Party doesn't give a toss about it, because they're never going to hold that seat. Yep. Tony Passon, the federal Liberal member, he promised before the federal election last year, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Pass said, if we get in, we'll put $3 million into this. Labor didn't even match the promise, because they know they're never going to win Barker. Like, that's perverse.
Well... You've got to have some recognition that the environment, the building environment, is vastly different now to what it usually is. I mean, there are blowouts that can happen if you say, well, we'll just fund a project or whatever it's required to get it done. But right now, these are totally that you can anticipate there's going to be cost overruns if you take time to approve these things.
See, we had Melly on the show the other day, and I personally totally support what they're doing with the Crows development. I think it's important for the state. It's the biggest organisation in South Australia is the Adelaide Football Club. It's about time someone just smashed that deadlock and said, we're doing it. But the points that he made when we had him on the show the other day, he said, all right, what's the argument for putting $25 million in? Well, the argument is grassroots sport, green space, getting kids off their devices, and also the economic activity. Well, when they have basketball carnivals in Murray Bridge, they have like thousands and thousands of people who come from all over the Riverland and the Murraylands to take part. They can't hold these tournaments anymore in Murray Bridge because the place is such a dump. So they've just cancelled that. So all of that economic activity, the stuff that the Premier uses to justify Gather Round and Live and Velo and the Crows, why doesn't that argument apply to Murray Bridge? Why doesn't the argument about kids getting off their devices apply to Murray Bridge?
Absolutely. Francis and Beaumont's called in about the Sydney Opera House. Morning to you, Francis.
And to you.
Hi, Francis. How are you going? Sorry, we lost you at the start there.
Well, thank you. In July this year, I had one perfect day. My friend and I had been to see the movie Knowing the Score about Simone Young, who's the maestro of the Sydney Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, yeah.
And afterwards we were discussing the movie, and she said, it's on my bucket list to go to something at the Opera House. And I said, me too. So when I got home, I Googled what's on at the Opera House and found that Simone Young was playing or was conducting the music of Tchaikovsky in July, and there was going to be a matinee performance on the Sunday afternoon. So I rang my friend and said, keep the date, and then I booked everything. So we flew over in the morning. We caught the train up to Circular Quay, had morning tea, went to the Opera House, toured the Opera House, went to the concert, which was magnificent, and then had dinner and caught the train home by 9:30 at night. It was just perfect.
Fantastic.
What a great day.
Amazing.
Oh, that's awesome, Francis. Thank you. Appreciate your story. Text on the Duttons text line from Mark, who says, guys, I lived in Sydney at the time of the Opera House opening. I remember the excitement at the time. I was in the school choir and we sang at the Opera House not long after its opening. It's something I'll never forget. Great story, thank you.
A lot of text supporting Blakey, who was on fire this morning with his 2 songs. This is about the Rundown Entertainment Centre. Michael in McGill says, I agree with Blakey. I was there for Paul McCartney. It was fabulous, but I was horribly cramped for nearly 4 hours. Build it and they will come. Thank you, Michael.
Happy news. We've got one more spot in the draw for our Harvest Rock tickets. Harvest Rock, of course, is taking place in 8 days' time, 28th and 29th of October. We've got general admission tickets to give away to the first caller through right now on 8223 0055. And we're also going to upgrade someone very shortly to the VIP package that we'll be drawing out. That's the VIP Harvest Lounge. So get calling now. Secret Sounds presents Harvest Rock 2. Get your tickets from harvestrock.com. Let's have a look at the fuel situation. Fuel Watch. Find the cheapest fuel in an instant. Download the free RAA app from your app store today. The United Hanson Road, Woodville North is nice and cheap. $1.79.9. We'll take that. The ex-convenience Goodwood Road Panorama's not too bad either. $1.93.5. The BP Gorge Road at Athelston, $1.92.5. Whereas the cheapest diesel is the United Hanson Road, Woodville North at $1.95.5. We'll announce the winner of those Harvest Rock tickets in just a moment. In the meantime, let's check traffic. Keezer, if you're tired of back pain, time to try Keezer, KIESER.com.au.
Thanks, Will. We're accident and breakdown free on the majors today. The freeway is working really well from Verdun through to Glen Osmond. South Road is getting busy at Mile End. No great surprises there. And a bit sluggish to Brighton Road, Acklenelg East. Got work to look out for today at Old Nollunga, Victor Harbour Road near Robinson Road, and keep an eye for a camera at Tiers Road at Woodside. Test drive the powerful 2023 LDV T60 Max from just $36,990 drive away for ABN holders. T's and C's and exclusions at ldvautomotive.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Caroline's back. Well, our chairman got his hairy chest out and built the table at the AFL. We're going to get a favourable fixture. There's going to be things coming our way.
The Crows will definitely get a Friday night, potentially two. There'll be Thursday night. And the Crows specifically, they'd be pretty happy not to go to Ballarat.
Correct.
Rowie and Timmy G.
They will get a much better fixture, and deservedly so.
4 p.m. weekdays on 5AA.
With help from Flurio Milk Company and the Udder Way, cafes all over Adelaide have joined the fight to reduce plastic waste. Instead of single-use plastic bottles, they've introduced the Udder Way's reusable 18-litre kegs. In the initial week, they stand to eliminate 1,500 plastic bottles. Together with other cafes, supermarkets, schools, restaurants, hotels and workplaces, millions of single-use plastic bottles will be taken out of circulation. You gotta feel good about that. Visit fluriomilkco.com.au for more.
Keep it clean and running like a dream with F10 fuel treatment. Whether it's cars, trucks, earth-moving machinery, boats or bikes, petrol or diesel, no matter what you drive, F10 makes engines run smoother and more efficiently, cleans and protects injectors and pumps, and extends the life of your engine. F10 removes water, wax, varnishes and diesel bug contamination. F10 fuel treatment. Available at Auto One, Atom, Blackwoods, Burson's and Repco stores.
Now, experience the great outdoors in absolute class and style in a new My Dream RV caravan from Destiny RVSA.
The folks at Destiny RVSA are excited to showcase the full range of the show-stopping My Dream RV caravans. Now, these vans are like nothing you've seen. They're full off-road too and aerodynamically designed to carve through freeway wind resistance. In fact, they're a dream to tow, and that's why they're a Caravan of the Year 2023 finalist.
Now, if you're going to the Adelaide Four-Wheel Drive and Adventure Show at the Showgrounds on October 27 to 29, make sure you go and see Brett and the team at the Destiny RV SA location, because My Dream RV caravans, they're exclusive to Destiny RV SA, and right now you can take advantage of some fantastic introductory offers.
Don't miss your opportunity to live a dream come true in a My Dream RV caravan exclusive to Destiny RV SA. Call in and see the full range from cruisers to off-road today. You'll find them at North East Road, Valley View, or jump online at destinyrvsa.com.au.
Is your bloated belly making you feel fat and miserable? Introducing new Caruso's Bloaties. Caruso's Bloaties contains peppermint and ginger, which are traditionally used in Western herbal medicine to relieve belly bloating, plus digestive enzymes to help your body digest lactose and fat. So if you're fed up with your bloated belly making you feel fat and miserable, try Caruso's Bloaties today. Caruso's Bloaties is available from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
24 minutes after 8. Tony in Woodcroft is off to Harvest Rock. You've got the general admission tickets. We will still be drawing a winner of the VIP Lounge upgrade. Also coming up, another chance to win. This time it's fish by the truckload. After 8:30, Feedback Friday. 8223 is the number if you'd like to play. Your chance to win a $100 Samtas seafood voucher. 1 in 3 chance. Takes a minute of your time and absolutely costs you nothing. And you don't get answers wrong. It's a lot of fun. First 3 callers through, though, starting to become the hottest tickets in town, Feedback Friday. So get calling right now, 8223 0000. It's the number that Adrian Pederick, the state member for Hammonds, called following our breaking at 8 a moment ago. Adrian Pederick, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Will. Good morning, Pembo.
Hey, Adrian, it seems like it would be a real tragedy given the amount of work and not to mention the amount of money that's already been spent on this basketball stadium project in Murray Bridge if the whole thing just withers and dies now, wouldn't it?
Oh, look, absolutely. This is a stadium that services up to 40,000 people, not just from Murray Bridge, but surrounding community right out into the Mallee and the upper southeast and through into the hills. And it is a missed opportunity. It'd be a magnificent outcome to upgrade the 3 courts that are there to get to a proper show court status, get some proper meeting facilities and foyer areas and that sort of thing, and also the change rooms. And initially it was in a 3-stage process, but it's fallen over at the first hurdle, sadly.
It feels like regional centres, and particularly a place like Murray Bridge, you've got Thomas Foods with all of the expansion and growth in the number of jobs. Like, you guys must feel like government operates in such a city-centric fashion.
Well, they do, and this is the issue, and we're very fortunate that with massive private investment in the area over the last few years, we've had about $1 billion of investment, and a lot of that is in the likes of Thomas Foods, Ingham's with the chickens, Costa Mushrooms, etc., apart from the Bridgeport Hotel upgrade and things like that. We are a booming region. We are posted as being part of the Greater Adelaide Growth Plan now, and there is a huge opportunity for many thousands of homes to be built in Murray Bridge. I know I've got investors looking at what they can do there, so the opportunity is all upwards. You're absolutely right, and I was very proud in the former Marshall Liberal government to secure that $1.5 million for stage 1 of this project, alongside nearly $2 million that Tony Passon, the member for Barker, raised through the federal government, and then council for that first stage. We're going to top it up with close to $500,000.
So what would your message be to the state government now? Because, they're in power, they've got a big majority, they're early in their political tenure. Do you reckon if they can find 25 mil for the Adelaide Crows, they should be looking at whether there's any assistance that they can provide to get this back on track?
Well, absolutely. This is a growing region. It's a growing area, and this project, by the time it's built now, will cost towards $20 million for the whole 3 stages. And it is an area that they've identified, that the Labor government have identified as part of the Greater Adelaide Growth Plan. And why can't we? Why can't we in the bush have the facilities that will facilitate, as you've rightly said, getting the kids off the phones, getting them out being active, and now with the connectivity fixed in Murray Bridge, with the old bridge repainted and spruced up, it's a great opportunity to move forward. As far as I understand, the money I secured from the state is still there, and it's just a matter of getting on board and building the project. I mean, the issue is costs have blown out, as you've already identified, and the government needs to put in money, whether it's from the Regional Growth Fund equivalent that we used to have back when we were in government, and we had our eye on the ball on the whole state, where we invested $18 billion worth of infrastructure. The state Labor government need to get on board for the community of Murray Bridge and surrounding districts.
Yeah, good stuff. Adrian Pederick there, the State Liberal member for the excellent seat of Hammond. Thanks for joining us this morning.
28 after 8. Feedback Friday coming up next. We need some contestants. 8223 000. You can win yourself $100 worth of Samtas seafood.
Oh,
now, $100.
Good weekend for a good night tonight for a seafood
how
barbecue.
Good would that be? $100 at Samtas, you could buy enough fish to entertain.
Buy 4 kilos for $60 and then spend another $40 on something. You could buy 4 kilos for $60, then you could buy a whole snapper.
Yeah.
And chuck that straight on the barbecue.
How good would that be tonight? Oh, my word. That could be you. Get calling now. Feedback Friday's coming up next. 8223 000. They'll be the first 3 callers through that contest.
In tough times, it's the simple things that make a big difference. Like $17 schnitzel days at Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and the Lighthouse Wharf. We know the humble schnitty can't fix all our problems, but we do know it'll put a smile on your dial. $17 schnitties Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and the Lighthouse Wharf. Making the world a better place. One schnitty at a time. Got to start somewhere. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel.
Where's the toilet?
See that little spade?
No effing way.
Nah, just kidding. Ensuite's inside, opposite the kitchen.
Oh. Phew. See you in a minute.
Austrac Canvas.
Now, in 1842, a man started a farm in Lobethal. Today, his great-great-grandson feeds over 250,000 South Australians every week as the head of My Butcher.
My Butcher is a leading meat wholesale supplier, focusing on supplying great local meat brands like 36 Degrees South Beef from Coonawarra, which won gold at the World Steak Challenge, and Mayura Station from the Limestone Coast, which is Australia's most awarded full-blood Wagyu beef.
I've got a hot date with one of those 36 Degrees South tomahawk steaks tomorrow night. Can't wait. And the thing about My Butcher, they love high quality meat, but they love local stuff in particular. They supply selected food lands under the My Butcher brand, specialising in schnitzels. Doesn't get more South Australian than that. And neither do they, because they've been 100% locally owned and operated since 1999.
For stockists of My Butcher products, simply visit mybutcher.com.au. My Butcher, meat with care.
This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Becoming cloudy and 27 with the 8:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Keep your body in shape with Physio Extra clinical Pilates and group exercise classes. PhysioExtra.com.
Israeli airstrikes have pounded the Gaza Strip as hundreds of vehicles carrying aid wait to be allowed into the war zone. Edward Godfrey's there.
For days, there's been speculation about when Israel's ground invasion of Gaza might go ahead, if it's still the plan. But this evening, we've been given the strongest indication yet that it may be not far away. Israel's defence minister has visited troops gathered along the border, giving them something of a pep talk and telling them they'll be seeing Gaza from the inside very soon. It comes as the flow of aid is expected to commence possibly as soon as tomorrow, with the first 20 trucks of humanitarian aid allowed to cross the border between Egypt and Gaza under a deal brokered by the US President Joe Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Gaza has continued to be bombarded today by Israeli forces as the humanitarian crisis deepens within the Gaza Strip, and there are growing calls, including from the UN, for an immediate ceasefire.
A suspicious grass fire broke out at Eden Hills late last night. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says some residents in nearby Springwood Close were evacuated while fire crews tackled the flames.
We had witnesses reporting to us that fireworks had been set in the area just prior to the fire starting. So we've got our crime scene investigators attending this morning to determine its cause.
While cooking oil left unattended did some serious damage to a restaurant kitchen at FIVEAA yesterday. The MFS was called to the Pagoda Chinese restaurant. A man at the Glen Osmond Road premises suffered minor injuries trying to extinguish the blaze and was taken to hospital. A light plane has crashed at Barwon Heads in Victoria. The plane was reportedly on a parachute jump with 17 people on board. Everyone's out, but it's understood there are injuries. While a farming community in the state's mid-north will come together today to farewell a father and son. 50-year-old Ben and 24-year-old Charlie Mumford were killed when their Cessna crashed earlier this month. Their funeral will be held at the local football oval this afternoon. Taxpayers will bear the cost of 5 days special leave for Queensland's public servants. The special entitlement's being put in place across all departments in the wake of the failed Voice to Parliament referendum. It's understood the move is to ensure the well-being of employees is protected and they feel supported following the overwhelming no vote. While the big banks spent millions of dollars supporting the Voice campaign while laying off workers, NAB invested $1.5 million in the Yes campaign and laid off 222 staff in September. The new A-League season kicks off tonight with Adelaide United hosting reigning champion Central Coast at Hindmarsh Stadium. Transport Minister Tom Koutson-Tonis says fans can get free travel to and from the game across the Adelaide Metro network.
For the first time ever, we're creating the Red Express. People can use their memberships, their season pass or their tickets to Hindmarsh to go watch the Reds play at Hindmarsh now on a tram, on a bus or on a train for free.
Now with more on sport.
There's plenty of stock ready for immediate delivery on Mitsubishi Triton from Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Yes, looking forward to those couple of games tonight, but let's switch codes. Australia's leading umpires, one of them anyway, is scoffing at Dave Warner's plan to make officiating more accountable. Dave Warner has called for each umpire's decision success rate to be displayed on big screens at games. Former Test umpire Simon Taufel says it would be counterproductive.
So for me, it's about good umpiring, good officiating is also about going unnoticed. And the more you put those stats and numbers on the big screen, is the umpire going to go unnoticed?
Australia will take on Pakistan in the World Cup tonight. Meantime, India has 4 wins from 4 starts after beating Bangladesh by 7 wickets last night. Let's go to tennis. The City of Playford International will begin this weekend, with local Thanasi Kokkinakis among the players competing, along with defending champion Rinki Hijikata. Meantime, some of the biggest names in tennis will compete in Sydney in the lead-up to the Australian Open. Craig Gabriel reports.
9 of the world's top 20 men and 5 of the world's top 10 women will play the second United Cup as 16 nations with direct entry descend upon Sydney and Perth for the team championship. Australia will be led by Alex de Minaur and Anja Tomljanovic, but the event lineup will include Novak Djokovic and Iga Swiatek, along with Stefanos Tsitsipas and last weekend Shanghai winner Herbert Hurkacz. Play starts on the 29th of December. $15 million prize money, and tickets go on sale on the 25th of October.
And the Adelaide 36ers have slipped to a 1-5 record following a 17-point loss against the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now to the traffic.
Louver House, the leaders in turning your outdoor space into a great entertainment area with an opening and closing roof.
Starting to get busy at the moment. South Road at Theberton, also slow Brighton Road at Brighton, building Glen Osmond Road at Glen Osmond, and sluggish around Fullerton for those intersection works of Fullerton Road and Glen Osmond Road near the Arkabar. A few cameras around, you'll find them Junction Road, Littlehampton and Military Road at West Beach. Porto have the best new range of value meal deals. Get a pulled chicken burger, a chicken and cheeseburger or a chicken wrap snacker with chips and a drink for just $9.95 each, only at Porto. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Beaumont's new showroom is now open at Seaford Meadows with 25% off all tiles this Saturday only.
Becoming cloudy and 27 today, a shower or two tomorrow down to 18, partly cloudy on Sunday 19 and mostly sunny Monday 24. At the moment 23. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
23 to 9, we're announcing a Meat Tray Friday winner before 9 o'clock. Behind closed doors still to come this morning. And how's this for some exciting news? If you're late to the party, there's still one spot available for Feedback Friday. 8223 0000. Get calling right now. One spot available, one chance to win 1 tonne of fish.
Feedback.
I don't know if it's a tonne, actually.
Friday today, so have you say feedback.
Tonne-ish. Tonne. What's a tonne these days?
Real tonne may not match actual tonne shown. There's an asterisk next to it.
There's an audible asterisk. 8223 0000.
It would look like a tonne of fish.
It would. You wouldn't know the difference. You can't even eat a tonne of fish.
Exactly.
Feedback Friday, get calling. And we're going to get into it because John in Clapham's called in. Morning to you, John.
Morning, fellas.
Hey, John, earlier this week, Clive Palmer's yacht ran aground, causing significant damage. If you were a billionaire, would you rather own a private yacht or a private jet?
Oh, I think I'd go for the private yacht.
Yeah. Where would you go, John? Maybe, I
think it's tough, that question.
Coast of Croatia or something?
No, I'd circumnavigate Australia. It'd be fantastic.
What a great trip.
Yeah, that would be
I'd have a helicopter on the rear deck, so once I got into port, wherever I was, I could have a bit of a tour inland.
Mate, like those yachts on below deck.
You'd like the praying for it, aren't you?
Yeah. Can we come?
Yeah, you're all welcome.
We're good company.
Hey, John, do you get concert envy by not being at the Paul McCartney concert Wednesday night?
Yeah, I would have liked to have gone. I'm not a huge McCartney fan, but it sounds like it was a good show, and like a lot of people, I think everyone's thinking, I wish I could do that by the time I get to 81.
Yeah, you played for nearly 3 hours. Were there long queues at your polling booth last Saturday, John?
No, I walked in at Kenlight Garden School and voted and walked out. They couldn't find my name on the roll for a while, but I thought Albo had crossed me off because he knew which I was going to vote. But,
You've been cancelled.
It all turned out all right in the end. They found me and I voted.
Glad to hear that, John.
Good on you, John.
John, are you into the AFL's trade period, or do you think it's just train spotting for AFL nerds?
Oh, it's as boring as batshit. I'd be more interested in getting a rundown on how the SANFL is going to shape up next year.
100%.
And in particular, any trades that the Cert Footy Club are doing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
You're a man after my heart, John. You got one hand on the fish on the Sam Test tray already, mate.
John, that was a pretty transparent claim on the Samtaz seafood just then. Have you? Lastly, John, have you had your personal data breached at all this year?
Not that I know of. But
that's the right answer.
If anyone breached my personal data, I think they'd close their computer down and head for the hills.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that.
Good on you, John.
Just a warning to Anna and Jack, who are part of FIVEAA Friday. John mentioned Sturt, so you already started 5 goals down, kicking into the breeze. Anna, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, Anna, the merger between the UniSA and Adelaide University looks like it's going ahead. Do you think they should come up with a new name or just stick with University of Adelaide?
Oh, I think probably come up with a new name.
Yeah.
I was thinking creative. One, Peter Hoy High.
Hoy High.
Hoy High. Peter Hoy High.
It's not really high school is the problem.
Peerless Danish-Australian football analyst. Every time Australia and Denmark play off in the soccer, be it the men's or the women's World Cup, we get Professor Hoy on the line.
If it was a high school, it'd make more sense.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
Anna, Crows and Port players are currently on leave. Some are going through Europe. There's pictures of them in Asia, pictures of the United States. If you were going overseas in October, where would you go?
Oh, I'd love to go to Europe.
Anywhere in particular?
Well, maybe our country of origin, because we're from Italian origin, and I've never been overseas.
Oh, really?
I'd love to go to Italy.
Oh, my God. Italy's
Which part of Italy are your folks from originally?
From the south, from Molfetta, Bari.
On Bari.
Oh,
what's the go-to dish in Bari?
Oh, well, I'm assuming it will be pasta.
Well, we'd love for you to be able to find out sometime soon, Anna. That'll be a great trip.
Wonderful.
The big spud in Tasmania collapsed this week after more than 30 years of being a feature in Launceston. Do you have a favourite big thing in Australia?
Sorry, I just missed that question. What was it?
The big thing. You know, there are big things.
Like the big
lobster?
Rocking
Horse, the big lobster, the big pineapple, big banana.
Oh, I see.
Have you got a favourite?
Well, many years ago, I've been married 53 years, and we went to, we drove a couple of 1,000 kilometres on our honeymoon, and we went to the Big Banana in Coffs Harbour.
Oh, yeah. For a fleeting moment there, Anna, I thought you were going to say your husband was a big thing. Now, Anna...
Will Gooding, wash your mouth out with soap, young man.
Harvest Rock Festival is coming up. I don't know if you know about David's exploits going to Harvest Rock last year or not. Do you think he should buy a ticket?
Well, yeah, maybe.
I think the way Will was carrying on this morning, reject any suggestion that I'm the one here with the behavioural problems. Seriously.
I just thought that's why that was going for a second. Anna, the Beta Birdwood's on Sunday. Have you ever participated in the Beta Birdwood?
No, never.
You haven't got an old vintage car, Anna? You're not driving a Model T Ford or anything?
Well, the car my husband's got probably could be vintage.
Good on you, Anna. Thank you. Let's go to Nan. Jack, good morning.
You're getting a bit saucy in there, Will.
I didn't say it with any sort of... the sick minds of other people have read into it. I thought he was a big fella. That's all I thought she was suggesting. The rest of you clearly got real issues. Now, Jack, I don't know how we transition from that to a child's television show, but here we go. An American cartoon show called Chip Chiller has been accused of ripping off Bluey. Are you a Bluey fan?
I sit with my dog and watch it, believe it or not.
Really? Is that right? Who's more into it, you or the dog?
The dog.
Oh, fantastic.
Jack, if you're going to a concert, do you prefer to know the set list or do you want it to all be a surprise?
Total surprise. Hoodoo Gurus.
Hoodoo Gurus, yeah.
I'm with you.
Saw them at the Finnan in 85. That was a good show.
Jack, we spoke with the Pink Roadhouse in Oodnadatta earlier this week. Have you ever been to Oodnadatta?
No. On the list. Definitely on the list. Want to get there? Pink Roadhouse. Great destination.
What's the furthest north you've ever been?
Roxby Downs,
okay.
Lee Creek,
Warren. Oh, no, you've travelled a bit.
It's pretty good.
Missed Oodnadatta.
Now, we debated this...
They've got a big banana in Oodnadatta.
That's why I haven't been there, Jack.
Exactly right.
They need to up their big game. Now, we debated this yesterday. Does tomato sauce belong in gravy?
According to my daughter, it belongs in everything. Just stay on its own.
Milkshakes.
And just lastly, Jack, with the Beta Birdwood on this weekend, what's the oldest car you've ever owned?
I think the one my wife's driving, unfortunately. Subaru Liberty. If anyone's got a good car for sale, give us a call.
Jack, those Subarus keep going, though. They got good motors.
I love when Feedback Friday becomes a marketplace.
Trading post.
Becomes a trading post, becomes an opportunity to talk sturt football.
Jousting sticks.
Jousting sticks. Tell them they're dreaming.
How much do they want? Each of the pair. Now, we've got to pick a winner from this.
Yes.
Look, I think that purely because she had to endure the program's descent into sort of Benny Hill / Dick Emery style fnar humour, the least we can do is give Anna and her big banana-loving husband $100 worth of seafood from Samtas.
There you go, Anna. It was worth your trouble. We're going to make
thanks to everyone who took part.
$100 Samtas seafood voucher is coming your way. Big thank you to everyone who participated.
We'll give John and Jack a mug.
All right.
Breakfast show mug.
Done.
And John, mate, if you see me in the outer, and you will, next year at Unley, come over and say good day.
All right, let's check traffic. Thanks to Keezer. You're tired of back pain? Time to try Keezer, KIESER.com.au.
Thanks, Will. Roads are looking pretty good. No great hassles. Busy in a few spots, as you'd expect on a Friday. South Road at Theberton, quite busy. It is sluggish, Brighton Road at Brighton. And those works at Fullerton, just near the Arkabar for the intersection upgrade, pretty slow as we speak. Got a camera to look out for too. Patunga Road at Meadows. Arrowscarf's 4-day sale is on now. 40% off all women's dresses and sleepwear. Exclusions apply. And Sunday, Arrowscarf, great brands, great prices. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
On 5AA mornings today, concerns over a worker shortage for the North-South Corridor project and adult kids moving back home with mum and dad. We'll also look back at the Birdwood Rally. Adelaide remembers when today. I'm Matthew Pantelis. Look forward to your company from 9.
G'day, it's Rory Sloane. The Kluger 7-seat SUV is here to move your family and to move you. It's an SUV that knows you expect practicality, but want luxury and beautiful design too. There's no need to wait for the kids to grow up. You can have your dream car now. This 7-seater has flexible cargo space thanks to the folding second and third rows. Take a test drive of the new Kluger today at Jarvis Toyota, South Road, Clovelly Park. Proudly celebrating 21 years of great deals.
Don't just send it, ace it.
If
your current job is driving you bonkers, well, get outdoors and hit the road. Here's Chris from ASIC Couriers to tell you how.
Thanks, Rowie. ASIC Couriers is growing, and we need more drivers to keep our promise of perfect service. So if you want a career that'll take you places, get in touch with us at ASIC Couriers. Visit asiccouriers.com.au.
Don't just send it, ASIC.
Now, the secret to owning the best house in the street isn't about the house, it's about the fence. Carstone is an SA company with a bold reputation for premium quality fences designed to enhance your beautiful home.
Walk down the streets of Adelaide's best postcodes and you'll see their work. Everything from heritage fencing to smart contemporary designs with either solid walling, tubular steel, cast aluminium or timber slats.
I've seen their stuff and it's stunning. You can see it all online too. Sometimes you know exactly what you want, but if you're unsure, let the good people at Carstone inspire you.
And remember, you haven't finished it until you've fenced it. Visit the gallery at carstone.com.au or arrange a consultation.
When it comes to blinds and curtains, always start with the 3 Bs. Bob Burns Blinds. They've been manufacturing blinds in Adelaide for over 60 years using the very best materials. With a keen eye for detail, innovation and style, from interior and exterior blinds to stunning shutters and curtains, including motorisation and security products, always start with the 3 Bs. Bob Burns Blinds. Visit the new showroom at 1239 South Road, St Mary's, or jump online at bobburnsblinds.com.au.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
10 to 9, all this week we've been putting people in the running to win the Harvest Rock tickets. We've given away 5 doubles already. Every single one of those 5 people has been put in the running for an upgrade to VIP, the VIP lounge, which includes, how about this, front row, side of stage viewing. So you're there basically on the stage. Express entry, no lining up for you. Elevated views of the stage on a platform. Private lounge and bar. Complimentary food and drink. You have an exclusive cocktail bar. How do you keep coming to grief?
I did it again.
Unbelievable. You're going to be the first radio announcer to file a work cover claim. VIP bathrooms and full access to the VIP village. And wine tasting with the local cellar doors on site.
See, we had massive VIP envy last year because we were in the cheap seats, and we could. Well, how do you get into that bit?
Sounds unbelievable.
Said, no, you plebs, you're not allowed in.
Secret Sounds presents Harvest Rock 2. Get your tickets now from harvestrock.com. Now,
I think that's why I got so overexcited.
Jealousy.
Well, yeah, and then we just went to this place that was selling Coriol Pickpool, beautiful Riesling.
Doesn't sound like you have to rough it at Harvest Rock, does it?
No, it's for like old middle class Gen X types.
Well, of the 5 winners, Lucy and Sam put their names into a hat, and we can announce right now the name that came out just a short moment ago in the draw was Grant. Congratulations to you, Grant. Wave at David if you see him from your beautiful VIP lounge. You
might find me crawling around in the mud at 11:30 at night looking for my wife's telephone again.
Grant was our Thursday winner. Let's hope that's not the case. Good on you, Grant. Congratulations to you. Jan and Osborne's called in with a Meat Tray Friday entry for us. Jan, good morning.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you, Jan.
My 2-year-old grandson was about to turn 2. I thought, I'm going to do bananas in pyjamas. So I got the bottom and the top, beautiful. Anyhow, I made the head out of cardboard and I painted it yellow. And put B2 on the collar, and I got yellow helium balloons and bananas, lolly bananas. Anyhow, I went in, he run up to me, he hugged me, and I thought, he's going to take it off my shoulders. Anyhow, he hugged it, and he wouldn't let go. Anyhow, he finally let go, and B2's head was buckled.
Oh, no.
Put a big dent in the side of its head. So anyhow, that was it. That's my story.
All that work.
Oh, no.
And I've still got the outfit, so...
You had a buckled banana head.
Buckled banana head, B2. He loved it.
Poor old B2.
Oh, tell you what, better not talk about buckling bananas. We might find some sort of gag related to that.
Now, come on. Come on. It's all very
We're going to
G-rated
pick a
here.
winner, don't we? at
Thank
some
you,
point?
Jan.
We're going to listen to John Blake first, though.
Yes,
don't
we do.
What order do we need to do it in?
All that conversation about bananas too
That's
has me
not my-
thinking about the
that's not my
5AA
department.
food and wine segment a little bit later today. Jade Rodman will be joined by Chris Jarmer at 3 p.m. Thanks to Smeg and Pals. If you're building or renovating, your first choice should be visiting the Smeg showroom at Debney Distributors. Taste the difference with Smeg and Pals. It is time to go behind closed doors thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions. Interstate freight, distribution, warehousing and local Adelaide couriers. Call Aussie Fast 13 13 64.
And when we get behind closed... Now, the latest forecast. Sunny, top of 30 tomorrow. Partly cloudy and a possible shower on Saturday. And 18 degrees. Currently it's 20. More news. As it happens, on 5AA.
Good evening, David Bruce.
Good evening, Andrew.
How are you tonight, David?
Oh, yeah, just...
I noticed when I came in tonight that we've parked next to each other in the car park here at 5AA too.
Oh, yes, we are. We're together in the car park there.
Yep, we are. Our cars are together in the car park.
That's right, and we're together here in the building.
That's right, and you and I park in the designated casual car parks.
That's right, we do in the car park down there. Together?
Yep, that's right. 26 years in the business and I'm still a designated casual.
Oh, yes, that's right, isn't it?
We'll both be 100 years old and still be designated casuals.
I know. I still have to log into the computer here as a casual.
As a casual, yep.
And I mean, I don't know why they'd think I'm a casual.
No, that's right.
All right, I'll see you later.
All right, David. Yes, see you later. We'll catch up later in the car park. 82230000 is my interactive number, or you can text me on 044808395. Here's a text from someone who says, "G'day, Andrew. Great to have you on as a midweek treat." Thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate that text. I really do. I am a midweek treat, and sometimes I'm a broadcasting Kinder Surprise. Other times I can be a digital Dixie Cup, and on occasion I can be a radio Chuppa Chup, an interactive icy pole, or a frequency frog cake.
How bizarre.
We've got a Metro Friday winner around. Should we do a couple of texts, though, first? Because there's been a few that have been coming through that we have just missed on the Duttons text line. 3 dealerships, 10 franchises in the Adelaide Hills and Murray Bridge. Duttons, easy to do business with.
Jane writes about the Murray Bridge story. Dave, you're exactly right. Polly's put out the spin to suit what they want. Remember the police horse move. Well, good God, not in the parklands. All the rich people live close by. But okay, let's put it in the north where a sports field and park was earmarked for that area. But that's okay. The northern suburbs don't matter. I share your cynicism, Jane.
People north and south just suffer from the fact they don't complain.
And their seats are too safe.
And the seats are too safe.
It's ridiculous. One here, it's not just country basketball stadiums, junior district basketball clubs based with games played at Port Adelaide and Morphett Vale and also played at Marion and Marden, all with no aircon, and the games get cancelled with the BSA heat policy, with leaks, poor toilet, bathroom and change facilities. That's true, but it sounds like what they're dealing with at Murray Bridge is in a league of its own.
Well, kids getting changed behind a curtain.
Have you seen this weird thing? I don't know if this is some sort of hoax or not, but there's a link, and it looks like a legitimate website. It's called Authentic Autographs and Events Australia, where you can buy sports memorabilia. There's a post here, and as I said, it could be someone who's done it as some sort of droll, mischief-making thing, but there's a photo, what appears to be a genuine photo of Simon Goodwin, the Melbourne coach, selling his 1998 grand final jumper, his Crows jumper, for $20,000. And the reason it is being sold for $20,000 is if you buy the jumper off Simon Goodwin, is what the ad says, Simon will present you with this jumper in person. And it says it comes with a certificate of authenticity signed by him.
I've just Googled the Authentic Autographs as a website, and I found the auction item. It looks...
Why would a cashed-up AFL coach be selling a jumper for 20 grand? Anyway.
Very weird.
As I said, it could just be a bit of... Because the world of footy, it attracts all sorts of hoaxy weirdness.
Does.
But this looks legit.
Well, he says a really sad story, I think, actually, of Collingwood having to deny claims that were going, lurid claims on social media about...
Exactly.
Which is really sad. Hey, we've got a Meat Tray Friday to give away before we go this morning. Liam Joner and the team, my local butcher, Chanellas, have provided us with another cracker, 62 Prospect Road at Prospect. Who wins?
Look, there were so many great entries. There can only be one winner. And with his tale about the paler of death giving everyone food poisoning at the kid's birthday party, we're going to give it to Ben. in Christie's Beach. Now, Will,
great story.
Belated happy 40th, but more importantly, and I still haven't got you anything. We don't do
please
gifts, though, do we?
Please don't.
When's my birthday?
May.
Well done.
Don't ask
May
me.
what?
Don't ask me any further information.
See, if you buy one gift, you've got to keep doing it.
Yeah, no. Let's have a...
Luce got it.
It's like mutually assured destruction in the Cold War. Sometimes you just accept it.
Exactly.
Better off if we do our own
But
thing.
happy birthday to little Rosie. And
Thank
have
you.
A great party tomorrow.
Looking forward to getting home to seeing her. She was asleep when I woke up this morning, so the festivities will begin.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt Pantelis is coming up. Have a great weekend, folks. We'll
See you
catch
Monday
morning from 6.
Some builders think a sloping block has limitations. When Beechwood Homes look at a sloping block, they think, the possibilities. Beechwood Homes know how to make the most of a sloping block. In fact, they specialise in them.